Broadcast. Go
All
live.
right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the Brother Peel podcast. I just woke up, so I'm a little sleepy, a little groggy. So excuse me if I come off a little slow or dumb tonight. But we have a very special show. I'm one of your hosts, O'Shea Duke Jackson. You can find my daily online magazine, lifestyle magazine for Black men called www.negromanosphere.com. My other channel, which is my main channel I do my work off of, called O'Shea Duke Jackson. Subscribe to it. And let me introduce my other host here on the Brother Pill podcast. We're a two-man team here. We don't know who you are, Steve.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Steve the Dean Williams. I'm a dating coach that helps guys get women.
Okay. Dating coach and a guy who helps get women, and he's very opinionated. Okay, very opinionated. So you must understand that. Steve, today's show is called White Flight.
Yeah.
When you move in, they move out. Okay.
Wait. You said when I move in, you acting like I'm the problem.
Well, yeah, when your black ass move in too, they move out. So I mean,
No. I move in. I keep the peace.
okay. Let's talk about what this term means. Okay.
All right.
White flight, typically, and not only just the United States, in other places, you can see this in what was now known as Zimbabwe, formerly known as Rhodesia, some parts of South Africa. Believe it or not, there were some cities that were white cities before. Cities like Detroit, cities like Cleveland, Kansas City, Oakland. Okay. I am from a city called Sacramento, California. I went to a high school that I lived in a whole area that was completely white in before the 60s. I even looked at some of the old pictures of the white students being like back in the day. But what ended up happening when you had certain desegregation policies of schools, when you had blacks coming from the South moving into certain areas, when those blacks moved in, those white people, and we could say those who have American white or European ancestries, they left. Okay. They left. That could be really seen in places like, Detroit, really seen in places like Kansas City. They left and either moved to other places or to suburbs. All right. Suburbs where it's a part of that metropolitan area, but like 30 to 40 miles outside of that area. So we're going to talk about tonight, do black people bring down the property value, regardless of class, regardless of skill? We'll talk about, why whites don't like selling to blacks, or owners in neighborhoods don't like blacks buying property there. We'll talk about that. But Steve, let's talk to you about what you consider to be white flight. Have you ever heard of this term?
Oh, absolutely. I've heard of the term. Guys, the lines are open if y'all want to call in, and we'll put that in there for you guys. But yes, I've heard of it before, and I've seen several people experience that. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that it's not. I don't think it's not to me. And I've asked several people who have done that, because I knew we were doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the black individuals who come in with a two-parent home. It's more when it gets more like a Section 8 situation or a single mother. It's really a single mother situation that makes people want to leave because of the property value. Like you said, you hit it on the head. The property value goes down because of the children and the destructive nature of these kids.
Okay, so Steve, I'm going to use, I just now came to Wikipedia. I want to use some of their organizational structure to run this particular commentary real quick. We want to first talk about blacks in the Jim Crow law in the South, and even in the North, where there wasn't necessarily Jim Crow law. Black people flourished pretty well living amongst blacks. It's something that we We're like, oh, this is a way of life. We understand this how it works. White people flourish really well living amongst each other. Okay. Let's not even talk about class or anything. Let's just talk about um kind of just culture and stuff like this. Do you feel that black people um previously before desegregation, meaning integration, do you felt that whites do you feel even today, do you feel that whites prefer living amongst other whites, regardless of if those blacks are educated, regardless of if those blacks work hard? Would
Well, see,
whites prefer just being around each other because it's smooth sailing that way?
no, not well. See, there's your problem. You don't want to talk about classism, but classism plays a huge part in this, fam.
Okay,
I,
let's talk about it then. We'll talk
okay,
about
because okay, whites. If whites could now again, I'm not saying all whites because they're whites because okay, you've got different kind of upper middle class pockets. Okay,
okay,
you've got whites that live in nice, rich ass areas that want to be around other whites. You have whites that like Beverly Hills type thing. You have whites that deal, hang out with athletes and superstars in their areas. It's and you have interracial upper middle class areas where everybody they just don't want you to they don't want any deviance and shit like that.
okay.
But do they want to hang out with blacks? I can't really say that. I would say maybe they want to stay with their own, but the way things are working now is kind of hard to do that. But I think if they could, maybe they would. But I mean, that's kind of hard because everybody's not as racist. I mean, there are racist people out there, but everybody's not as racist. Depending on again how you are and how you behave, man. It's about behaviors as well.
Okay, let me do this. I want to give a shout out to a few people here. I see in the chat. Shout out to John Paul. I saw him. He just came in. Second day
Hey,
signed up on
what's
Patreon for both of us, I believe. Ninja Olu, Nook Collins. I see you guys here. Doug, My Squad, Kamala, Freelance Ryan, ABL's in the house. If you want to come on, you can definitely do so anytime you get ready. I can send you the link. Truth from Troy. What up? Ronnie Williams, Kamala, 80. Been watching me since I had 300 subscribers. Carlos Jean, my man right there. It's Caliber. Just everybody in the chat, man. Shirley, I see you. Okay, so let's do this, Angel. Steve, let's be fucking real. Let's turn the podcast up. Okay? Let's turn the podcast up. You are you there?
Yeah, I don't know what you say. You're gonna turn
White
it up.
people do not want your black ass there. On average, let's be honest. Blacks of any kind of social status, for the most part, the reason why they don't want people like Steve or me there, even though I'm a medical doctor, you're successful. Do you know why they don't want your black ass there?
Oh well, I can I answer that, or you want me to say why?
Sure. Answer it.
Well, I think the reason why they don't want us there is because of the perception that they've had from a lot of these nigglets out there.
Let's talk about the nigglets out there if we can.
Okay. Again, when you have a single mother and they bring their kids in and they're not watched, you bring in the hood, you bring in drugs. And listen, and listen, let me say this because I know somebody's about to say this. Before
Okay.
you even say it, I'm gonna stop him right here before he say it. Because I know somebody on the chat room be like, well, white people do drugs all the time. Yes, they do, but they do them in their home and they keep that shit secret amongst their family. If there's a problem with drugs or anything like that, they don't go out and do it because everybody's all about perception. So I'm not saying white people don't do drugs and things like this, but we're talking about when you have Section 8 type individuals coming into an area, their behaviors where you draw the cops and the police. And like you said earlier, I hate to sound like a broken record, but once the value goes down, see, a lot of people don't understand about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
People, a lot of white people and black people, people who are upper middle class, they move into a place to up the value of the place, then they sell to make money to move to another place. That's just how people of upper middle class work. They just don't stay in one area. But if they feel the value is going down, I'm sorry, Osha, I'm running my
No, go
mouth.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. It's good. You're doing good, Steve.
Okay, I'm what I was saying is that this is very important for you to understand. Is that okay? Let me. All right, I'll give you an example.
Uh huh.
Like where I live at right now, the
Okay.
value of my house is going up. Why? Because you have main stores. Like when you put a Target or a Walmart, a big name store. See, the more big name stores that come into the area when it's brand new, the value goes up. Okay,
Right.
once the element comes in, okay, and I'm not talking about a two family a two family black family, two home black family. I'm talking about a single mother with single kids. Once that element comes in,
Right.
the value will start to depreciate, not because the single mother, it's because of the behaviors that come along with it. And then
Right.
what happens is the targets and all those other places, they may hang around, but again they might move. I mean, everybody wants to stay away from the trouble. That, and again, I'm not saying that, and it's just not, listen, it's just not bad blacks before everyone gets mad, but this is a black show. But yes, there are rednecks that might come in, some bad Asians, bad Indians, bad Pakistanis, bad everything. But O'Shea, we're talking about blacks right here. So,
Okay.
but when you have that element come
Mhm.
in, the value goes down, meaning that if O'Shea wanted to move into my neighborhood, he's going to check and see the crime rates, the school, how the school system works. He's going to look at a bunch of things of how these things work. And if they're not up to his standard or his code, he is going to skip over that neighborhood and go somewhere else. And that's where you get the flight, because of the element that comes in that doesn't know how to behave themselves. And I'm not just saying with black people. I mean, there are a lot of different ones. This is a black show. We're talking about black people. So when you have the ones from the single mother who can't watch, that's where all the problems come in at. And that's why they want to leave, because crime goes up, things become deteriorate, and shit like that happens, man.
Okay. We're gonna actually talk about if black people drive down property value, both high level, low class blacks. And I mean, obviously, I think it's understandable that people that come from Section 8 neighborhoods are going to drive down the property value. But I'm going to speak a little bit hypothetically here. And we're going to talk about, for the case of debate, for the case of argument, let us assume all of the blacks that are moving into, let's say, an upper middle class white neighborhood or white suburb,
Yes.
because there have been cases of this happening too. Assuming that those people are black medical doctors,
Yes.
lawyers, engineers, people like Steve the Dean. If 10% of the neighborhood becomes black, even though we're professionals, will whites still move out?
Hey, you want a shocking thing?
Yes.
It's kind of happening in my neighborhood now, but it's
Okay.
not because of the blacks.
All right.
It's because of the Indians that are moving in. See, okay, let's look at it. You got Houston, you have Sugarland, you have Richmond, then you have beyond Richmond. Just name those three pockets, okay?
Okay.
So what happened was Sugarland used to be the place that all whites would live at, because again, it was an area where they're far away from crime. See, there was an area where there's no areas that you don't have bus stops and apartments. You don't have those in those areas, right? So that kind of was the separator. That was the divider to keep people out, because in white people lore, some blacks don't have access to vehicles, so they more than likely will take the bus. Well, they kind of clipped that out when they took away the bus route. There are no bus routes, right? Only like for like if you want to go in town for business or something. But anyway, so what happened was it was a huge migration of Middle Eastern,
Mhm.
not really black, that came in, pushed the whites to Richmond, and now they are moving from, because then the blacks are starting to move into the Sugarland areas, which are pushing the Indians to Richmond, which are pushing the whites out. So it's different here, but it's more Indian and Pakistan that are making whites leave, not blacks, but it's more the Pakistan thing.
Okay, so here's what we want to do then, Steve. Because I believe this is the question. Let us eliminate the Indians.
Okay,
we're going to take them out of the equation.
take them out.
Okay. Are blacks, if me, you, Shelly, Mo B, Anthony Bryan, Logan, Mr. Research, all of us, nice black people, full circle, Howard Cooper, who's been all across the world, we move into a white neighborhood, even Kevin Samuels, even though we're professional blacks, Truth from Tony, all those people in the chat who seem to have some sense. Doug went to Hampton University.
Yes.
Bright guy. Kamal is a teacher, I believe. We all move into Hickville, Texas.
All right, Hickville. Okay. All right, of course, Hickville. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
The whites who come there, are they gonna say, there's some smart niggas over here. We glad to have them. They make 6-figure salaries. This is gonna work out. Or are they gonna have a meeting saying to the realtors, you motherfuckers got to stop selling to these niggas because eventually the property value is going to go low, not because they are wild black people, but because they're black people themselves.
No.
And see, here's the thing. Black people have a stigma when it comes to certain whites, and that stigma is, even though they might not be dysfunctional, you as black people are dysfunctional and can be dysfunctional down the line. That's what white supremacy says. White supremacy says that blacks are just on the lesser, or just less than whites. Doesn't you have your exceptions, but if they procreate, oftentimes and not, they're going to produce dysfunctional children. And at some point, if it gets too black, no matter how many of them, they're going to fuck it up.
Well,
that's what I'm asking.
Well, no, are they going to leave? Let me tell you why. No, to everybody, the crew that you had in. Let me tell you why to them. The reason why is because it's based on behavior. See, the thing about white people when you get into white areas, okay, they're really friendly and neighborly. That's what they do. They'll come by with a fucking pie or something to knock on, introduce themselves and invite you. I mean, they want to see what kind of black person you are. Let's be honest. And you know, if your kids, you know, like my daughters are in a special volleyball. You know, it's like $3,000. You got to pay $3,000. It's called I forgot what it's called. It's certain thing. It's like I say, with all of us there, and we had kids. Our kids would be involved in these things where you interact with your neighbors and the people around there. So they will have a perception of you in the beginning, O'Shea. That's no lie. But through meeting you, seeing you in areas, and seeing you in Catalyst or any other type of sport, depending on what your daughters or your sons do, you interact with them, and you interact with them more, you know, like Halloween, Christmas time, things like that. The perception goes away based off of how the interaction between you. So it's going to be a negative because of the nigglets, but it goes away through a little bit of time and seeing them at school when you go to school functions and stuff like that.
Steve, I'm going to disagree with you here.
Okay.
This is why I'm going to disagree with you. Although you may be, and I think in your case it may be a little different because you're not married. You're married to a Caucasian woman, so I think that is a plus to a lot of whites.
Yeah, but I'm in an interracial upper middle class, so it's like more.
Yeah. But assuming if we were in a all white neighborhood, I understand you're in an interracial.
Well, if it's all white. Well, if it's all white, yes. But if it's okay, yeah. Well, to answer your question, yeah. If it's all white, yes.
Yeah. Let's just talk about. So, one of the reasons why, if you're living. And the term white flight, you know, means like I would say a good percentage of whites leaving an area because they can either tell that the property value is going to go down, or that niggas are moving in, or people are going to move in that they don't want.
Yes.
Here's the
Yes.
reason why whites don't want your black ass living there, especially if you have black kids. They don't want your black sons eventually fucking their nice white daughters in their schools, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. When you have black families that live in white neighborhoods and white communities, one of the things that these people do not want to think about eventually is your daughters sucking on somebody's son's black dick when he's 16 or 17.
Well, that's not. Well, that's not the problem you're having. Is that you don't understand about the
You're
this is what you
stuttering.
know
You're
because I
stuttering.
was a gigolo. You know, I was a gigolo. So you do understand that they have a secret that they have around here, that the white women have a tattoo on their ankle of a spade, how a queen of spade. I forgot they call it a spade, where they love black men, but there's a lot of the parties, a lot of swinging, a lot of
I don't deny that, Steve.
yeah.
I'm talking about those black fathers who are patriarchs. They don't give a fuck about that. They don't want your black. They don't want Steve the Dean's black ass, bald headed ass, licking their daughter's white pussy. They don't want that shit.
They,
Come on,
but
said he
yeah, if you're in
disagrees,
a solid white neighborhood, yes.
but
If
it's what I'm saying.
but
This
if
is
it's
the
all, let's
reason
flip the script.
why.
If it's all blacks, they're gonna be the same way about a white neighbor coming in as well.
Well, that's true, but to be fair, black people are more receptive of whites. In fact, everybody knows this about niggas. Black people, when they see white folks, if white people try to culturally appropriate them, that means if you have a white person who wants to act black, let's look at Rachel Dolezal, for example. Rachel Dolezal is not even that good of a looking of a white woman in the white race. But Rachel Dolezal, and if she acts black, dude, she's like top 10%, right? Sean, what's that one guy from Black Lives Matter? Sean, is it Sean? What's this guy's name? You guys know what I'm talking about. What's this guy's name? Sean, somebody say his name. I think it's Sean King. Black Lives Matter. White guy. Everybody knows he's white, right? He looks and acts black, therefore he's elevated. Black people have a great acceptance of white people who want to be a part of the community. We hold them in high esteem. We're very accepting of whites. I was in Uganda. I witnessed myself. White people who had on African garments, they're treated very, very well. So when whites want to come into even a black church, black people are very welcoming to whites, man. Let's just be honest.
No.
We are more welcoming than whites in our own neighborhoods than they are to us, I would say.
No. Fuck no.
You don't think so?
Fuck no. Black people treat white people like they slave owners, and they did something to them or something, and they treat them just as bad. They only race they treat bad is damn near white people, man. They aren't nice to white people. They're very standoffish to white people, and I've seen this. I've seen this a lot. My boys have seen this. People I talk, they're very standoffish to white people, dog.
Here's what I'll say.
It's both days. It works both ways, man.
I agree with you to a certain point. If you're a white kid growing up in a black community, you can have it tough. That's true. You get fucked with. In black schools, I would rather be a black kid going to a white school than being a white kid growing up in a black neighborhood. But as soon as you have a little few fights with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Day Day and them, once niggas accept you, they'll stop fucking with you. Niggas want us to see if you're gonna be foolish, if you're a weak ass white boy or something like that. Once you knock a few of the motherfuckers out or get your ass whooped, all right, white boy, it's all good. Niggas will have you eating chicken wings, spend all right at their house. You be going to the black church, you be in the motherfucking choir stand and shit. That's how we do. Black people fuck with everybody. Everybody gets in the black communities. There's nobody trust me, I know, I get it. White kids, if they grow up white, they get it. I done seen white dudes, man, get into black gangs and be the leader of a black gang. and be the hardest dude in the clique.
Yeah, a lot of trouble. There's troublemakers. Yes,
Man, I seen white dudes, man, that man be calling shots in white Crips and shit, calling shits in one black gangs. You will never find no nigga in no damn white gang as the number one person. You ain't never gonna find it. You'll find no white folks though. Shit. When white people grow up with blacks, man, and they prove themselves, niggas is cool. Like, man, look, we don't give a fuck. What have you seen Banging in Little Rock? One of them white Crips was in that documentary about HBO. The motherfuckers was savages.
Yeah.
And them white Crips was eating chicken wings and shooting niggas like it was nothing.
But getting back to white flight again, people just want to be peaceful. They don't want to feel like they have to lock their doors and things like that. It's not even that. It's just middle class. Again, you're making a white flight, but it's more of a class system. Most people who are upper middle class, they don't want to deal with the bullshit. They already mad because we already get a bad stigma off of what white people see on TV because the news even suckers white people as well as blacks. They believe what they see on TV is real and shit. So, it's kind of fucked up.
Okay, so we know people want to call in. We know this is a hot topic. You guys know I always pick controversial topics that's going to fuck you guys up. Always do that. So we're going to keep going with this. We're going to talk a little bit more. We'll take the calls here. And so we want to get back to the hypothetical situation, Steve. And I see ABL's just joined us. Shout out to ABL, Mr. $1 billion subscribers. I saw the interview you and Kevin did. Man, it was excellent. We're going to get to you in a moment. But let me just ask Steve this. Steve, we got to discuss this, right? Donald Trump was accused of, I think the 70s, not selling to black people. Which, if he did that, I totally understand why.
Right. So,
do you want to know why that is?
Why?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why that is. If you're trying to buy real estate at whatever he was selling, those black people he was refusing, they had money. They had to. You can't. Trump don't sell no cheap shit. He not selling no motherfuckers where he not selling no homes and shit where Lil Pookie's and Uncle Leroy's and Pookie Deans and shit is buying motherfucking goddamn fish sandwiches and cheese. The reason why, if Donald Trump told those blacks no, is because other people understand that if blacks live in a certain place, the property value is harder to resell, even if that's a black lawyer or a black doctor. I mean, at that point it was. Okay. So that's why people say, if you sell with the blacks in here, it's not that we hate blacks. We don't want to buy here. And the reason why is because other people understand that blacks typically, not all the time, drive down the property value irregardless of their profession, just because of the stigma of being black. So it makes sense to sell to blacks. So we got to understand that the term white flight is not just against ghetto niggas. It's against blacks of all creeds, educational backgrounds, and everything else, in my opinion. But let's get to ABL. I'll let you rebuttal, Steve. I know you got something cooking. I know you got something cooking for a nigga. I know you got something cooking for my monkey ass. But let me bring ABL in real quick. What up, ABL?
What's going on, y'all? How's everything going?
Everything's going cool. Me and Steve having a little good debate. Debating, the chat are kind of divided. Oh, go, Steve, go, L shit, go. You know how Steve is and shit always. So persuading the fans against me and shit. But what up, ABL?
Everything good, man. I was seeing some of the comments. I didn't see the whole argument or the debate between you and Steve, but I saw some of the comments, and I wanted to give my 2 cents because I have been involved with and experienced a thing called black flight. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I just see black flight when I see niggas stealing something from the police and the motherfuckers running down the street.
Hey, go ahead, ABL, hit him with that too. There you go.
Look at Steve.
but I do want to say something before ABL goes on. Any of y'all bitch ass motherfuckers talking shit, you got the number right here. Why don't you get your cake ass and call in and stop talking shit like a bunch of bitches? You want to call somebody Uncle Tom? Tom was a good man, you dumb fucker. You Sambo, you dumbass motherfucking monkey. Now, you got something to say, call in or shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, ABL. You got it, sir.
That's why these shows be so hot, man. That's why you can't take me or Steve to your channel, man. Imagine that on ABL Live. All right,
I
go
wouldn't do
ahead.
that to ABL because they're kind white people there.
Stop the show, man. All right, let's talk about Black Flight real quick.
Okay, now Black Flight. Now this is what I experienced when I was about 14 years old. I just turned 14, matter of fact. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a backstory. It's gonna be short. I ain't gonna take too much of your time.
Go ahead, man.
But
Take how much time.
No,
okay,
take your time. You good, man?
You got
all right.
130,000 subscribers. We gonna shut the fuck up. Sit here and listen.
All right, here you go. Now, when I was in middle school and a little bit before that, I was living in a place. It was not a ghetto, but it was like 2 steps above it. You know how you got the ghetto like projects, like that's all government housing, right? And then right above that, you have things that look like projects, but they're not really because they're not government ran. It's like just very, very cheap house, like apartments. And then we were like once up above that. It was like income control, but it was not the ghetto. It was not real cheap apartments, and it was not the projects. So we were like in the upper lower class, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? It was not a ghetto. We didn't have shootings all the time. It'd be the occasional shooting, and maybe somebody would get murdered every 5 years or something like that. Okay. So anyway, so we live in there now. At this point in time, the city that I was living in decided to tear down a project. So when they tore down the project, they gave them vouchers to go to other neighborhoods, you know, other apartments, other places, so they could just have somewhere to stay. Now, one of the places they got settled was in our neighborhood. Within, like, I'm talking like overnight, you talking people all hours of the night, you hearing gunshots, you hearing all just it turned into a ghetto overnight, is what I'm saying, because they came in from that project. And the last straw was when my mom was actually leaving that neighborhood. It was an apartment complex, and she was buying a house like in a different place. We were leaving that area for a lot of reasons, but the main reason why was because of the people that came from somewhere else. It was turning into a ghetto. We didn't want to live there anymore. It was Black Flight. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. Right before we were supposed to leave, it was something that went wrong with the closing process with the house that she was buying. So we say like 1 more month. I was supposed to be gone right before the school year started because, you know, I just turned 14. Matter of fact, I hadn't turned 14 yet. I was 13 going on 14. I was starting the 9th grade. And I was supposed to be gone before the school year started, but we weren't. Like I say probably about 3 days before our new exit date, some crackheads had crashed their car, not their car, a stolen car, into the back of my mom's car. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm hearing knocking. I'm thinking I'm dreaming. I'm like, ain't nobody knocking on the door. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, I hear my mom move. You know, we in a small apartment. I can hear between, you know, the walls or whatever. So when she moves, I get up, you know, because I don't want none of these crackers to try to bust my mom in the head or whatever. At the time, I'm pretty big. I'm like 6 foot, 200 at almost 14. So we go to the door. It's the police. And then they say, hey, look at your car. The car was embedded into the back of my mom's car.
Wow.
So we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Yeah, we have to leave. So that was Black Flight. We left the extremely ghetto Black folks that came into our Black neighborhood and made it into a ghetto. So I experienced that personally.
Oh, well, so we'll talk about that right now. That's a good thing. So Steve, we'll talk about Black Flight. Kevin, I sent you the link. Steve, let's go back and talk about something that you know a lot about, which is why Black people leave Black communities, right? So this is what it seems like. Okay, Steve. ABL just gave a great description of why his family left the ghetto. Okay. Mm-hmm. ABL's family moves.
It wasn't a ghetto. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
at the time that you guys were leaving,
it was created. The ghetto. It was formed into a ghetto when the folks from the ghetto came. That's what I'm saying. That's
okay. So, but at the end, when you left, it was a ghetto, right?
It turned into that, but it was not at first.
But it wasn't initially. Okay. So that's typically what it is for most neighborhoods. Most neighborhoods, whether they're Black or white, they're initially not fucked up. Pookie, Ray, Day, and them niggas move in, fuck shit up. Mm-hmm. Good families like Anthony Brian Logan's family says that we want a better life, want a better school district, stuff like that.
Yes.
They move in to 70%, 80% white neighborhood, something like that. Then whites are like, what the fuck you doing here? You know what I mean? If too many of them move in, they move out. So it's almost like this white flight thing. And now what we're seeing, Steve, is in places like DC, your old stumping grounds, whites moved way the fuck out to Arlington, Virginia.
Mhm.
And now, because I went to Howard University. Now, guess where they're moving back? White flight is moving back into DC.
Right, because they cleaning that up. They clean the area up.
Yeah,
Let's talk about, and Anthony said this in the comment section. Let's talk about the gentrification of former black neighborhoods by whites. We're seeing it in Detroit. Definitely we're seeing it in DC.
You'll see a little bit in New Orleans as well.
New Orleans. Okay, I didn't know that. Let's talk about that.
Clean up for them. They love that shit.
I gotta say one thing. The thing about gentrification, or like the thing about white flight, the reason why they leave, even if you're successful or whatever as a black person, they think that you're not able to handle home ownership or being able to live in the neighborhood the same way they do.
Okay. Wait. Say that one more time.
That's true. That's true.
The reason why you have white flight that happens, even if they see people that are black and educated, at good jobs over them when they move in, they think they're not able to handle home ownership. Right.
Okay.
The upkeep of that property is not going to be the same.
Can you explain what you mean? What you mean by that?
What they think is that the upkeep of the property is not going to be the same.
Right.
They're not going to be cutting the grass regularly. They're not going to be getting maintenance performed. You know, the shutters or whatever is falling off. They're not getting it replaced. The roof ain't getting replaced. Right. Especially if you live in a condo, that's the worst thing, because then at that point, if one thing happens to a condo, it affects everybody in the whole situation. Right. People, they're not, taking care of their appliances, house catch on fire. And then the worst thing is when you have somebody that is not of that nuclear family moving from somewhere else. That's like a family member, like your cousin. Prime example of Fresh Prince, right? You're living in this beautiful neighborhood, like, in the hills or whatever in California. And then here come your hood rat cousin from Philly.
Yeah. They have see in our neighborhood, the way they fix that problem, ABL, is that they have this thing called association fees, where you have to pay, I think, $1,000 a month, or when is it, every 3 months? I forgot. It's a few $1,000s, ain't much, but association fees are basically, you have people driving around the neighborhood, looking at your house, making sure the grass is cut, making sure the shutters are right, making sure the trees are cut correctly. They're making sure the paint on the paint on the fence is done right. Mm-hmm. They are, even the bushes have to be cut a certain way, and they're gonna drive around. And if you get what they call an association letter, then if you get a bunch of them, then they're gonna hire people to fix that stuff, and they're gonna bill you. But that's how serious they are. So that's how they combat that. They want to they have association fees and things like that, man.
Let me kind of talk about this real quick. We'll start with Steve. Do you think, and stop the fucking show, we have 182 people watching, and Steve has been nice enough to have the call-in number 515-605-9373. Press 1 to call in. Again, 515-605-9373. We want to talk to you about this. All right, let's go ahead and call in to the show. I do appreciate everybody who is watching currently right now. We have 171 people watching, but we don't have the likes that are supposed to be matching with the actual show. So, if you're in the chat, you want to be a part of the show, like the video. The reason why we ask you to like the video is because we're up and coming black podcast here. It's growing steadily, small. We're steadily growing channel with this podcast. So help us support it by liking the video. Your likes tell Google and tell YouTube, hey, this is a very well watched show. And then other people will want to check it out. So we need you to like the video. We need you to promote the video, share the video, and things of this nature. For those of you who have not received the free ebook from the Negro Manosphere called How to Stop Simping in 24 Hours, what I need you to do is I need you to drop your email in the chat, okay? Drop your email to the chat. We'll get you our free ebook from the Negro Manosphere, but continue to like the video as you are coming in, because it's going to help this video get shared, going to help this video get podcasts and stuff, and share the video. Right, if you're online right now, just share it on your social media. The more shares we get, the more that we can go ahead and grow the channel. So let's talk about this, Steve. I want to ask you a question. Do you think that when it comes to white neighborhoods, right, without them saying things, do they make certain policies for you to move into that neighborhood that makes it very difficult for you to actually stay there, for blacks to move in? Do you think that that happens? I don't have any evidence that it does, but do you think
Well,
that some white neighborhoods are trying to make it very
well,
difficult for blacks to move in?
well, it depends. Again, you got pockets of middle and upper middle class places, and the reason they have it upper, the reason it's so expensive to get in is because they don't want the poor in. They don't want the poor in. They want people like themselves in. So it's more classism with that. Yeah, I won't say they have rules. It's not like they're gonna do a background check on you. I don't think they did one, but I don't think they do something like that. But one thing like I say, one thing I like a lot of people don't know when you in those kind of neighborhoods, like I say, the fees, like Pete, that'll shop be like, what you mean I got to pay fees? pay fees for what?
Well, somebody
I mean?
has a fucking
That,
window up on
yeah,
it.
somebody,
That's Kevin.
okay.
Oh, Kevin, if you don't get your ass out the drive through, okay.
So yeah, some things like that, man. It's just, I mean that's just one thing. I can't really think of anything else but that. But I mean, a lot of people think that when you get into a neighborhood like a nice neighborhood, that you just move in. It's I won't say it's a lot of political shit. It's just that, like I say, it's let me give you an example. All right, like I said before, like my daughter's in the Catalyst. All right, I mean, she does volleyball, but they have a loophole in that shit. See, you can play you can play volleyball for your school, but if you're not in Catalyst, you're not going to be able to start. See what I'm saying? It's a loophole. But to be in Catalyst, you got to pay $3,000 just for like every 2 quarters or something, just for your daughter's due. I mean, that's the loophole. Like say, if your kid wants to play a sport, they have to. They got little setups like for basketball, baseball, volleyball, and football. They've got little setups where it's not you just playing. You got to play this extra. This. You got to go to this extra thing and play tournament style things where you travel and all that stuff, and that will get you started. I mean, it's a lot of little loopholes, but if you know how to play the game, you're fine. But for a lot of people coming in and their kid wants to play a sport or something like that, there's a loophole for that. It will prevent them. I mean, not to say that if they didn't have the money, it would do more damage for them because again, it's about again goes back to classism, I guess. So I don't know.
Now,
Let me ask Anthony Brown Logan. I'm pretty sure I know
going on,
what
Kevin?
answer I'm going to get.
Yeah, I've lived all over the place, so I've seen this one.
Okay. We're gonna get to you right now, Kevin. But I'm gonna ask ABL this one question. ABL, do you think that certain neighborhoods would prefer to stay white and want to come up with? Do you think that there are actual certain neighborhoods, even though they can't come out and say it, they want policies or try to make it difficult for, let's say, minorities to move into their neighborhoods?
Yeah, sure. I believe so.
You believe that?
Yeah.
That's shocking. Okay, why?
I mean, that's what they want. Because they feel like it's a cultural thing. They want people that's just like them. They don't really want to deal with too many cultural problems. I saw a comment in the chat. Shout out to I'm Just Saying. And then I guess he was saying it sarcastically. He was like, let me scroll up. He said something about they hating on me and my 30 pit bulls.
We got to call O'Shea.
Okay, we'll get to it.
But yeah, I mean that's what it is. We can get to the call though.
Yeah, I know they do. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll get back. We'll get to Kevin and then so what's the call we have? Right? How many calls we have, Steve?
We just have one call. 218. What's your question for O'Shea and the group?
How's everybody going and Big Daddy doing tonight?
That's Angel.
Angel, what's going on with you, boss?
What's going on, Angel?
Hey, Angel.
No, nothing much. I've been working on my latest couple of videos. for my channel. I'll be scheduling them for early tomorrow morning, but I'm getting them filmed tonight. So I've been a busy man, and I enjoyed last night's live stream with ABL and Kevin Samuels. Wish I could chime in and give the history of how I became a conservative and how people have been attacking me over the years. But hey, it was getting too late. Big Daddy needed to go to bed and get him some sleep before the next morning. But hey, and as far as this whole moving and stuff, I am on Section 8, and yes, I've seen how Section 8 can affect people and all. I used to have a black neighbor who was not, and basically because of that, he had to move to a different city.
Oh, wonderful, Angel. Well, thank you, Angel. We appreciate you and your call, man. Thank you so much, buddy.
So he was on Section 8, and the neighbor got pushed out.
Hold on. Before he leaves, like, so why did Angel?
I've learned over the years that's not the like to abuse.
So why did your black neighbor leave, Angel? Is he gone?
No, he's still on.
Angel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so why did your black neighbor leave?
Well, because there was such a low income area and all where I live.
Oh, so he wanted to leave. Like, it was his choice. He was like, it's becoming too low income, and I need to leave for my own safety or for my own preference.
Yeah, that's correct.
So that's black flight yet again.
Thank you, Angel. Great call, Angel. Thank you so much, buddy.
Let's do this.
I'm also glad I'm smarter than a fifth grader.
No doubt.
Oh, shout out to Angel. Let's do this real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the conversation for a spin. Let's get Angel off the line then, because
yeah, we got 2 more calls in line.
2 more calls in line. Okay. Here's what I want to talk about. We're gonna talk about why blacks don't want to live around other blacks. We got to talk about that at some point.
Of course,
Steve, I know you can't wait to get on that.
Of course,
I'm gonna jump in on that shit too. I got to get as season. I got to talk about these shines. I'm talking about. I don't want to. I mean, typically, I don't want to live around blacks of any educational level. If I could not, I would like to do it in the real society. My heart is in that. I know that it probably won't work. I'll give every reason why. Steve, go ahead and bring the other caller.
All right, we got 2 callers. We got Anonymous, then we have 337. Anonymous, you're on. What's your question?
Hey, yo, fam, you thought you could hide from me, bro? You can't hide from me. Look, I'm up in this chat.
Oh shit!
You can run from me?
It's
You can't hide from me, fam.
It's the motherfucking
from London. You want to have a rap off with him?
Yeah, fam. What else up with you, man?
Ain't nothing, governor. What's blowing up with you, fam? Hello, blood.
Yo, man, don't check this out, man. I got mad links. I got mad white skirts that love me. Trust me.
You
man.
got mad bloody white skirt, man. You know, bloody right, man. Bloody right. Fucking A, man.
Mad lovely.
Motherfucking right, blood. Absolutely, blood. The blooming thing fucking blit
me. Yo,
me.
man, I'm gonna get your daughter.
How
old is your daughter?
You ain't gonna get my daughter, blood. But you know what? I can get your mother. I can get your mother to suck my dick. You want a little brother?
You can't do that, man.
You want a brother?
Do
you want a little brother? I bet your mom.
I
bet your mama wants some, don't she? Oh, your mama wants some, huh?
Everything, bro. Where's your daughter? How old is your daughter?
Hey, what do you want, man? We doing a show, man. What do you want?
Apologize for dissing me in my rap song, though.
Oh, hey, I kicked your ass in that rap. What are you talking about? I dress better than you.
Don't ever disrespect my Michael Kors back. You dress better than me. Come on,
kicked your ass.
He said, "Don't disrespect my Michael Kors bag." You heard he said?
You never dress better than me.
Dude, this shirt costs more than what you don't even have a job, man. Get your ass going, man. Come on. We got another call.
Mad peace, fam. I don't need a job, fam. Come on.
Come on, black. You bloody need a job. You're the problem why white flight happens.
You didn't win that, Howard Cooper. Shut up.
You are the problem why white flight happens because white people want to stay away from monk of keys like you. Now, you can't rap, but I bet you could climb the fuck out of a tree.
You talking shit with me?
Yeah, blood. Hey, blood. Hey, I don't have any bananas. Hey, I'll go. Hey, look, don't make me.
I'll be in America.
Wait, where's the grape soda at? Let me grab some grape soda. Let me go get a grape soda.
I'm Nigerian.
Oh, you're Nigerian? Oh, wait, excuse me. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You mad because we sold your people.
Next call, please.
Next call, Steve.
You might because we sold your people off. Fam.
No,
Don't
you
get
didn't
mad
sell
at
them.
me
Hey,
'cause you got fired.
you know what? And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because you know what? I don't want to
Yeah.
have a bowl with flies flying around it and shit, living in mud houses and shit.
You
So
mad.
I appreciate you for selling me
but
off.
I promise you,
Hey,
30
the
years
way
from
I'm
now, Nigeria
living,
will be an
hey,
economic powerhouse,
dog,
fam.
I'm
While
gonna
you still
send
underneath the white man's
I'm gonna
rule,
send
fam.
Sally
You mad at
Struthers.
me.
I'm gonna send Sally Struthers to
You
your
mad at me
house
because
with a
we become
bowl of
economically
dry
strong.
milk.
Who's the richest
All
black
right, let's go to
person
the
in
next
the world?
caller, Steve.
Dangote, fam. He sits on any of you. Dangote sits on any
Let's
of you.
hang up on the guy.
All right, all right, we got another call. All right, we gotta go, brother. I mean, all right, so let's get the next call. All right, 337. I'm sorry, 337. We apologize. Did you have a question?
Yeah. What's up to the brothers on the panel? What's going on?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
But yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We see you 301.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to chime in on this topic. But yeah, I just want to say, yeah, I think that the white flight thing is a real thing. I mean, you look at certain cities like Chicago that are damn near segregated from like north to south.
Right.
So I think it's definitely a real thing. And I hear about apartment complex owners like making it to where like if you're a black person and you want to move in somewhere, they'll make it to where you got to make triple the rent in order to move in. So yeah, they do things like
So
people to
triple
move
the
in
rent.
certain areas.
Okay, so how about this? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, caller?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Caller, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you
Caller,
hear me?
can you hear him?
Yeah, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me, fellas?
Yes,
I can hear you. Can you hear me? This is ABO. Can you hear ABO?
Okay, yeah.
All right. Now, how about this? What about when they move back into the neighborhood? Now, is that a good thing? White folks, that is? Because people say that white flight is bad. What about gentrification? Can you hear me? What's going on? I can't hear nothing.
Yeah, he's not saying anything. So you want to go to the next caller? Or
Let's have a conversation real quick. But
Okay.
before, let the other caller wait.
Okay, 301. We'll put you in a second, sir.
Yeah, let me get to Kevin real quick because he's joined and everything like that. So this is what we want to talk about today.
All right.
This is a black show.
Okay.
We're all black.
Yes.
And we're gonna use our, because we are black people. We have to admit we've been raised in American culture. We see things very similar to maybe how whites may see things. I would have to say that because when I went to Africa, I started to like even see things as not even a black person anymore. I was like, oh shit, damn, I had to stop that. Do you think that we see each other as black people? Do you want to live amongst an educated group of blacks, or would you still have doubts that those motherfuckers will fuck it up?
Definitely would. And I did. I've lived in every situation from the ghetto to experiencing living in Houston, where Steve is talking about. Steve, one of you guys need to Google Vidor, Texas, the whitest town in America. They did this in 1990.
Blacks don't go to Vidor. No.
Why is that?
No.
It's the you can't move in. It's a sundown town. Google it. In 1993, the state tried to move black people in, and it damn near blew the city apart.
You don't go to Vidor. You go to Vidor on a dare. You go to Vidor, Texas on a dare. You don't go to Vidor.
When I was coming back from a fraternity convention, and we stopped there in 93, and I was the lead car. All the white folks converged on a truck stop. Then 1, 2, 10, 20, 30, 60, 100 black dudes out there in red and white. Motherfuckers was packing their cars up, leaving, because they thought we was coming to take the shit over. But when we first landed, it was about to be some shit. I've lived in New York City, in New York and Manhattan, where you have to have some A1 credit and all these other kind of things. And I've seen this thing from several different points. Around it back to here in Oklahoma City, there was a neighborhood called Wildwood. Imagine if your neighbors were like the Cosbys, and that's what it was for a 5 miles this way, 5 miles that way. Controlled the school system that I went to, which was an independent school system, the church, I grew up with black people doing stuff like this. So it can work, and I've seen it firsthand. Now, I can understand why people don't, because we've never seen it. I fortunately have seen it happen.
Okay, so what was the difference between living amongst an elite black neighborhood and living in an elite white neighborhood?
Living in the elite black neighborhood, I never had to look over my back. I never got stopped for driving the car I owned. The superintendent of the school was black. It was like it was heaven, because I saw black men who were at the head of the FAA, a black police chief, the black minister. I saw my teachers who taught at the college level, who came to teach at the public school level. We were the top school in 3A, but we would beat the largest schools in academics, in sports, uh, in all the categories. And it was almost like it was a utopia. Uh, versus in a white neighborhood, yeah, I was accepted for my academic prowess, such and so forth, and they liked me individually. But I'm gonna tell you, the fear of the big black D is real. They don't want you getting with their women. I've dated hooked up with many white women that their parents was cool with me individually, but they didn't want me dating their daughters. Um, because even if that family was cool, they were afraid of what other people might think. Didn't have to worry about that so much with black people. But I will say one thing: the blacks at that level also tended to look down on lower class blacks.
Okay, so that's what we need to talk about. Let's kind of roll into that. Keep talking about that, and we're going to spin the conversation for a wheel on that level. Let's talk about that real quick.
You want me to go into it?
Yeah. Let's
Okay,
go into it.
so when you have people who went to Langston, Howard, Morehouse, Tillman, just like the Cosbys, put yourself in that mind frame. Generations, you were a legacy, and you went to Howard because your daddy went to Howard, such and so forth. You were building your kids up from elementary through high school through college. You didn't want them hanging out with the dude that had the Jerry curl who went to Douglas with the gold tooth in his mouth, because he's gonna if he gets your daughter, the generations of work that you've done and people before you could all be disrupted. Because guess what happens? That very neighborhood today looks a lot different. My school, Millwood, was one of the best schools in the nation, academically, athletically. Now, when we moved in, the black folks died off, moved out, such and so forth. Now it's a damn war zone. That's black flight. They left that neighborhood, and then more of the Pookies and the Ray Rays came in. So yeah, I've seen this thing all sides.
Okay. Let's spin this for a wheel real quick, Steve. And we'll go to ABL. Steve, are we dealing, because you made a comment about this is a class system. As blacks with education and resources, as we see, and I'm not a rich black person by any means, but I'm definitely in professional school. At some time will be a professional. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt, I do not want to go back to where I was living, nor do I want to live with people like them. I would rather stay in Poland first before I go back to where I was living. Do we as black people look at lesser blacks as inferior? Do we look at them as unable, incompetent, ignorant? Like Anthony Brown Logan said, won't keep up the property. Because in black neighborhoods, man, niggas really crawl on the grass. They grass be brown and shit.
Yeah, you've got ignorant. Yeah.
You go. How many of y'all have seen this? You trying to turn onto a street, and a car in front of you is parked in the middle of the street, and another nigga is on the opposite side of the street, and they're just sitting there in the middle of traffic, just talking in a damn residential street. And you're in back of the car, and they're just sitting there. Instead of pulling their cars over to the side, they're just talking in the middle of the fucking street. One car going this way, the car going the opposite way, just sitting there outside the window talking to each other, and you're trying to blow the horn. They got an attitude with your ass, and you sitting there waiting for these niggas to talk before they drive the fuck off.
Well, I've seen that with white people, but they wave and say sorry and let you pass through. But
if you tell a nigga that nigga be ready, what the fuck you talking about, nigga? Don't be blowing your motherfucking horn at me, nigga. I mean, do we look at these black people, man, as something's wrong with these niggas?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got calls though, but yeah, absolutely. You could, you can always see. You can always tell the ignorance of people by their actions and behaviors. And I'm not one to shy away from anything, but you can always tell. I mean, we do have some logical, sensible people, even in the chat right now. You can tell people who wouldn't make it in upper middle class neighborhoods by the shit that they say. They would be more of a detriment to the black people there than helping by the way they are. They would do more harm.
Okay. Let's do this. And what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to some of the people that have donated in the super chat. Just real quick, Steve. I won't take up too much time. I know we have how many calls do we have right now?
We got 3, sir.
3. And I know Wake the Hell Up wanted to come on, but we'll wait till we get to some callers and I'll get you on before I'll get you on the next 30 minutes. But let me do this. We want to so Eric P said, kill him, Steve. Carlos Jean likes her. Okay.
Nobody's saying white folks don't act a damn fool, but they're acting a fool is having a block party for everybody that's quiet and not disturbing the peace. They rarely disturb the peace. And if they do disturb the peace, they'll go around and they'll knock on every neighbor's door and say, hey, I just want to let you know that we're going to have a party. And if we're a little loud, please let us know. That's what white people do in the neighborhood. So it's totally different. I'm sorry.
I got one question. When you hear these 4 things, who do you think of first? And be honest, pit bulls, weed smoke, loud music, barbecues. Niggas,
nothing but a shines, nothing but some shines. ABL like, yeah, nigga, I can't say it.
We got calls, man.
Anthony Brian Logan, I cannot call them shines, but I definitely agree that they are shines. Don't tell me.
I didn't say it, y'all did.
You're like, shine! I'm ABL conservative here. No cursing on my channel. All right, let's go to the callers.
All right, let me bring in 301. Then we have 630, then 770. 301. What did you want to say to O'Shea, sir?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I live in Howard County here in Maryland.
Maryland.
And this county, Maryland. I live in Maryland, Howard County. And this county was about 90%, 80%, 90% white back in the 90s. And ever since, they had the Democrats come in and take over, they came in with all these voucher plans and this voucher programs where they had, people coming from Baltimore City and, coming in and living close to the good schools in Howard County. And now for me, I'm not against anyone coming in, for better education and better life. But the problem is, majority of the people that have been coming in on those vouchers, have just been, city people, to be honest. We're here paying $1,600, for rent and, living in these complexes. And, these people come in and they throw trash and, you see trash, music, loud music, and,
yes,
playing basketball until 12 o'clock in the morning.
Weed smoke.
Things like that. So it's
say shines, Anthony.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What, here's the thing. What the caller is saying, I saw this happen. Imagine you're a Cosby-like neighborhood going to a New Jack City-like neighborhood before your eyes, and nobody but black people are there. I mean, the neighborhood was called Wildwood, and we lived in a time where people said, you know what? You had to make enough money to drive a Mercedes, and if you didn't, cool, get a Honda Civic. There's no harm in that. But we live in an age now where everybody thinks they need to have a 4 or 5 bedroom home. Everyone deserves something. So instead of working to get it and saying, you know what, I don't make enough or do enough or appreciate anything, we want everything given to us. So when you do move into one of these nicer areas, you didn't have to do the work to get there. So you tear the shit up. People
You
don't
know,
don't appreciate nothing they don't pay for.
it's funny. A lot of people see the commercials from a place called Hidden Valley, and even Compton. Y'all be shocked to know that Hidden Valley and Compton used to be white. It used to be
Yeah. Oh
white
yeah.
Yeah.
people
That's
there.
Yeah.
definitely true.
And I don't know if y'all realize that Compton wasn't black at one time. It was clean cut white people there
George
until
Bush family was living in Compton for at
yeah.
some point.
Mm-hmm. You want to bring a call in, sir, or you want me to hold it?
Yeah, go ahead and bring the call in.
All right, 630. What was your question, sir?
Hey, what's up, fam? I always love your shows. Always, every day, come in, try to listen in. And yeah, I wanted to make a comment about, the the low class black people. Because of course Steve can relate. He's an example of black flight. And just as Chris Rock said, there are black people and niggas, and other black people don't want to deal with niggas and how ratchet they are. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Guys, y'all want to say something, 630? Any comments?
You guys want to weigh in, Anthony or
I gotta say something. That's a big part of it. The lack of home ownership. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about, it doesn't matter how educated you are as a black person. A lot of times, if you move into an all-white neighborhood, the whites get nervous because they think even if you own your home and you have a good profession, you're not experienced with home ownership and all that it entails. Being the good neighbor, even Andrew Bynum, the basketball player or the former basketball player, millionaire, but smoking weed, having pit bulls, loud parties. They don't want that kind of element to come in, even if you don't appear to be that kind of way. Because like I said, you could be clean cut and then you move your cousin in from somewhere else, and then your cousin from the ghetto has never lived in no kind of neighborhood like that, does not understand the culture of a neighborhood where people own it, where they care about the neighborhood, cutting grass. If in a ghetto, you'll see stuff like people throwing their diapers outside the window. Like there's trash cans, there's dumps. You can just walk to the dumpster and throw it away. Surely there's a garbage can in your house, but you're throwing a diaper outside of the window. And then you bring that same kind of behavior to a neighborhood where everybody owns their house, who actually cares about the property. That it doesn't mix.
Yeah, everybody's watching, and what people don't understand is this how minute. I mean, how crazy they are. They'll even try to outdo you in the lawn. They want the best
Yeah.
lawn. They have competitions and they
And they
get
pay big money
awards for the best Halloween decorated house. And I mean, it's just a whole different culture.
That's my family.
Yes. So it's going to shock people when you get a knock on your door and you have a bunch of people singing Christmas carols at your door, and you supposed to give them cider and all this. I mean, it's a lot of rules to this, but a lot of people like, man, fuck, I ain't opening the door to the motherfuckers. It's just
and that's that's the problem, because it's not that they don't want us there. It's that we see both sides of our family. I didn't originally live in the neighborhood, and it's the one. I was from a single parent household, lived in the ghetto, whatever. My mom made sure, and I will thank her until the day I die. She made sure my life was my school. I was there from kindergarten through 12th grade. It was this neighborhood. It was this district that made me the man I am. So even when you would move into the neighborhood, you would appreciate it. But like you said earlier, O'Shea, you wouldn't want to live in a neighborhood because niggas driving with the car parked around and so forth. We can't tell each other nothing. So even if you did move into the neighborhood and move next to Steve, and Steve was having a good day and wanted to tell you how to do something to fit in, just like I do, it's a 90% chance they're gonna be like, man, what the fuck you talking about, nigga? You can tell me what to do. So if we know that about each other, you can't blame them folks, because them neighborhood associations, lawn manicure stuff, that shit's real. Let your grass grow a millimeter outside of the shit. Nigga,
oh yeah, you get a letter. You get a visit and a letter. Absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's why you see a lot of Spanish lawn guys out there. A lot of them. I even have one. Shit.
But on the upside, I lived in a ritzy neighborhood in Oklahoma City called ritzy upscale suburb here in Moore, Oklahoma. Left my goddamn garage. You know how you running out the house, you hit the garage door and it stops or something. It didn't go all the way down. Door open to the kitchen. 8 hours. Nothing gone.
Oh yeah. You're good. You can leave it open. Like I would see that in certain neighborhoods. I'd be surprised. It's like the door's open, nobody's attending it. Like really, like when I was living in the areas I was at when I was a kid, like you couldn't even leave your door unlocked. Like in the day, nothing. Like if you go anywhere, you got to lock that door. If you inside the house, lock the door. Lock your bedroom door. Like nah, you can't just leave your stuff open like that and everybody can see it. If you in a black neighborhood, your whole house would be empty in a matter of minutes. I know one time I had an old bike and I wanted to throw it away. And my mom was like, leave it on the side of the apartment. It'll be gone. I left it out there. 10 minutes later, it was gone. I was like,
fucking coming to America and see in the hood, the suburbs, they snitch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, instantly.
They'll snitch. They'll be like, oh yeah, we saw that your door was open. So we just been sitting here drinking tea, watching Judge Judy, but nobody came by.
Yeah, they and also in these type of neighborhoods, is you see people jogging. I mean, again, I ride my bike. You see people riding their bikes, walking their dogs, really friendly, really neighborly. And let me tell you guys, when you walk your dog, you better have a little bag with you because if your dog goes to the bathroom, you gotta take the bag and grab the shit. And you got it with the bag and wrap it up and take it home and throw it away. You can't let your dog shit on someone. That's how I'm just saying for you guys. It's not like you let your little rotter, your pit bull. Well, I got rots. You can't let that motherfucking shit in the neighborhood. No, you got to have a little bag with you. You got to take a bag. They got there's certain things that go on, man, with this shit.
My fucking bags in the car.
Vodka stole my thing, dude. One thing he said is so fucking true. I was getting ready to say that. Steve said this before too. If you have bought a MacBook Pro or any kind of big screen TV and you throw that shit out.
Yeah, you can't do that in bed.
Oh, no.
Come Pookie Dean and Leroy. Oh, look at these niggas over here.
Nah, like I don't do that. Like where I live at, it's not a bad neighborhood, but it's a lot of Negroes around. What I do, I'll take my boxes and I put them in my car at night and then I'll drop them else to dump them.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Yeah, because if they see you going to, because you guys out here, they just sometimes you have people just standing outside and they watch you. They watch your patterns. They know when you're home, when you're away. They know what you're doing. And they see you go to the dumpster with the actual box. That's enough. You don't got to put it outside. Like you definitely can't put it outside your house if you had a house in the black neighborhood. That's a dead giveaway. And you got to empty your mail all the time.
Rob your ass.
Oh yeah. You got to empty your mailbox. If you got a mailbox on your actual house, you got to empty that consistently because if they see it building up, that means they let them know that you probably ain't been home, so they're gonna go break in your house. And the thing about that, people want to blame poverty. Poverty don't got nothing to do with it really, because in Rand, West Virginia, you can look up like the poorest areas in the United States. My hometown, where I'm from, I got told the story. It was some guys trying to break in my grandma's house, right? And the neighbors across the street saw them on the porch. And then they opened up their blinds real wide so they can see them. So they were alerted that we see you trying to do that. And the ghetto, that don't really happen. And in this neighborhood I'm talking about, Iran has less money per capita than the average ghetto. So it's not even about money. It's just about the culture that exists in these areas.
Here's the thing about culture also in those areas too, man. People can see people breaking into your house and won't tell you. Ain't gonna tell you who did it. For fear of stop snitching, and they don't want nobody fucking with them. That's what I mean. I had a lady, man, that her name was Miss Tail, fat bitch. Every time I go to my grandma's house, the bitch try to speak to me. That fat ass bitch. I hate that bitch. I had my car outside my grandma's house, man. I live in a poor neighborhood. My grandma lives in a poor neighborhood in Del Paso Heights. And this fucking bitch, man, she seen these niggas trying to break into my goddamn car. The car wasn't shit. It wasn't until these niggas broke the window and ran because it had an alarm on it. Then she want to call. That fat ass bitch sat there the whole time and watched these niggas trying to break into my car while I was inside the house. Bitch, you should have called then, so I could have came out the door and screamed, hey, motherfucker said something, so they could have ran. But you want to wait till they break my car. Hey, them niggas broke your car window, baby. What? Hey, yeah, they broke it about 10 minutes ago. Sure did. You fucking fat bitch.
2 calls, sir.
Two
I
calls.
know we
Okay,
gotta
let me
get-
do this real quick. I gotta hold that thought real quick, Kevin. I gotta do some shout outs real quick. Use critical thinking. What about blacks and Asians or Hispanic areas? I've noticed blacks and Hispanic areas have it worse. Example, Compton. Just trying to get this conversation broader. Also, super chat for the support. Okay, we'll talk about that. Thank you, Use Critical Thinking. I've never seen you on here before, brother, but I thank you. I appreciate you, man. We'll definitely talk about that because Anthony's already alluded to that already. Napoli Bear Kids. Hey, great show so far, O'Shea. I love good, smart, humble black men who are able to speak their mind and help others get better in life. God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you, too, Boo. You kind of cute, bro. Take you to Popeyes, baby. JB, thank you for $10. David Willis, how does a black neighborhood prevent gentrification? Okay, I'll talk about that also. If you guys want us to talk about something, super chat. Do not put my name in orange. I will fucking fry your fucking ass, okay? Don't do that. We will talk about topics and questions if you super chat the donations out. We'll put that into the conversation. But let's go ahead, Steve, and get to the caller.
Okay, we have a 770 and a 256. 770, what's your name? What's your question?
Hey, what's up, Steve? This is G from Atlanta.
What up, G?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
go ahead. What's up?
Actually, it was two things to say, actually. Me moving from New Jersey to Atlanta, I realized that when I moved here that I was brainwashed. Because growing up in New Jersey, and this is with a lot of black people, we feel as if we move into a neighborhood and there's only two black families or we're the only black family, we feel as if we've made it. And it took me to move out here, and that's how I felt when I bought my home in New Jersey. I was looking around and I was like, man, it's only three other black families in this whole subdivision. And, you know, I did everything that you were talking about, cutting the grass and shoveling, making sure I gave out, Halloween candy and all that other bullshit to be a good neighbor. It wasn't until I moved here to Atlanta in Alpharetta, and when I first moved here, I stayed at my pop's house. When I pulled up to his house, I thought his whole neighborhood was white. When I pulled up there and I'm looking at all these big houses, and I'm looking like, damn, Pop, you live in an all-white neighborhood. This shit is nice. It wasn't until I seen nothing but blacks coming out the house, and then I realized, it's like Steve said earlier, it's not a black and white thing. It's a class thing. Mm-hmm. The first house that I bought in New Jersey, I had an older white man. And when I went out to shovel my porch, when it snowed, I just thought I was so used to just shoveling my porch. It wasn't until this older man came over to me and he was like, sir, that's not, you have to shovel that whole side. The porch, the sidewalk. I didn't realize that was something that I also had to shovel was a sidewalk.
Okay, G,
so,
you got to hurry up because they got other calls and O'Shea gets mad. Yeah. We love you, G. We don't want O'Shea to cuss nobody out because he wants the calls to move fast.
No, he had about 1 minute. Go ahead.
All right, we got 256 O'Shea and 214.
Okay, thank you for G for calling in, man. Appreciate you, fam. Go ahead.
Appreciate you, G. All right, 256 and 214. 256.
Yes, this is DeAndre calling in from Alabama. I had a question. Do you think that blacks purchase homes that are more pricey outside their price range, meaning they can't afford the infrastructure of the home? So when they move into certain areas that's more upscale, they're not able to, say, if damage comes to their home from a storm or something. So
yes,
they definitely do.
The answer is yes.
Certainly, most definitely. I like to add something onto it. I think, and I know somebody's going to hit me, but I keep thinking about what made the difference. It was the men in the neighborhood when the black community was up their way. But black women, when I see them with this home, they buy this stuff. You're just thinking about the house and not the yard and everything else. No different than a car.
Right. Good point. Great point.
Absolutely. Like, with some women, like if they have no man, they don't understand that if you get a car, even you got to get the tires rotated, you got to get the oil changed, you got to get the spark plugs replaced every now and again. You got to make sure that your car is on point. You got to have maintenance. When they buy a house, they listen to the real estate agent. It might be some handsome dude, some Tyrese looking dude, whatever, trying to like con them basically into buying the house. Then they get into this house. They don't understand personal property taxes. They don't understand
Yep.
maintenance. They don't understand. They can't call the office no more in their apartment and have them come fix something. They got to call or look in the phone book to find somebody that's a handyman, and they got to find a good handyman because it could get burnt and get a bad person to do some bad work on their house. I've seen people like that crying in the news. Single black woman talking about, oh, I spent $10,000 with this person. They didn't fix the thing properly. They don't have any of that figured out until they get into their house, and then they realize they're way over their head. It happens all the time.
Just like I mentioned the cars back in the day. In the 80s, everyone didn't think they needed to drive a Mercedes or BMW. It wasn't because you couldn't afford the payment. It was because you couldn't afford the maintenance. The upkeep and maintenance. That was why you didn't buy it. So when I think about the neighborhood I lived in, it was because all the men had a standard, and the neighborhood functioned like a kingdom and a fiefdom. Everyone had the same standard. Everyone did the same thing. They expected the best. You wasn't coming in because if you came over to Steve's house and I saw you, I'm gonna shoot your ass.
That's right.
The women were protected and cared for. The children did their shit. Yes, I'm saying, imagine that the Cosbys had a whole fucking neighborhood, a school system, a church. This shit was magical. I felt the more I think about it as I get older, this shit was like Wonderland.
Okay.
All right, we got one more call in, sir.
One more call. Let me do this real quick. Get the likes up on the video, okay, guys, real quick. We're gonna, for those people, we're gonna change it. If you have a topic request according to this topic, super chat your question. I have a very smart panel. ABL has 3 billion subscribers. Steve has $3 billion, and Kevin Sanders got 3 billion suits. So between all four of us, we can figure some shit out. So that's what we want to do. Before Steve cuts me out, okay? Listen, like the video. I want you guys to join us on the Negro Manosphere on Facebook, okay? So we are getting ready to do a lot of good things. The Negro Manosphere will not have a YouTube page, but we're going to have like special videos and shows. Me and Steve are going to rig it to get the show on Facebook, and Steve will do his show on there. So we're going to have that page be more interactive, okay? So that's going to be our home for the Black Manosphere on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, like our Negro Manosphere fan page, drop your email for the ebook. We want you to support us over there, share our articles over there. We're going to have contests over there. A lot of fun things we can't do on YouTube over there, okay? So click the link and like us on the Negro Manosphere on Facebook to follow us to another social network where we'll be growing. You can share it with your friends and all that other stuff, okay? So, Steve, let's bring on the next caller, and then we're going to get to some of these topics that the people that have super chatted want us to talk about.
Eric Code 214, what's your question, sir?
Hey, what's good, Steve? What's good, O'Shea? The question that I have for you guys was, in your opinion, like, would you prefer to live in say if you were like of the upper middle class range, like, would you prefer, like, if you had the choice to live in a multiracial like middle class, or would you prefer to be in like a strictly like white middle class? Because my thing is, like, with me being like a black first generation Trinidadian black American or what have you, my whole thing is I feel like I would kind of be on edge if I was like in a majority like white upper class community, because I feel like there would still be like some kind of stigma, like how you guys were talking before, how it's like no matter like how educated or successful you are, they're always like kind of worrying like if you could bring the property value down or what have you. Sure. So like if you had like your own specific choice, like what would your take be on that, like specifically?
Multiracial.
I would say multiracial too. Well, I am multiracial in one, so yeah, multiracial.
What would you? Go ahead.
Even though I saw it growing up, I prefer multiracial because I just like it. I love to be able to go to somebody's house and eat authentic Asian and authentic Italian and authentic Greek.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's how it was. Go ahead, Kevin.
I mean, look, a lot of reason why we as black people prefer to stay around each other is because we're afraid to try new things.
Right.
And in order to try to be around multiracial things, you're gonna have to eat some stuff that you ain't familiar with. You're gonna have to eat some stuff that don't have salt on it. You have to eat some stuff that don't have sweet in it. But you know what? There's beauty and there's love and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to get hippie and shit, but come on, man. We got to really start expanding our horizons. And one of the easiest ways to do it is around a community and family, because you're safe to take chances.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I live in Poland, right? So
White
I'm
baby.
used to living
Oh yeah.
amongst all white people, even if they don't like me. When I see multiracial, it's not that I'm from Sacramento, but one thing I do like about living amongst like all whites is that they leave you the fuck alone, right? And I actually like that. I think the more that you do make friends in these interracial communities, the more friends you probably will lose. And because
hold on. You got to explain that. Like, how would you lose friends by making them? Like, you got to explain that.
It's just how it happens in life. I'm not saying that typically, people fall out for whatever different reasons. I can tell you this: when you live amongst all white people, they leave you the fuck alone. Whether they like you or not, I actually like that. I like that people don't fuck with me. They just let me do what I got to do, and it is better. So I mean, I've been living in Poland. That's my experience. To me, I just like to get in and get out and shit like that. I don't really like interacting a lot with people that I live around. I think if I had an interracial thing, it might be some niggas over there. They might be over my house watching TV, something like that. And me, I'm already a hothead. Some of the niggas been said the wrong thing. I've been to cuss their motherfucking ass out and shit.
I mean, but when you get to be older, you're not really going to be going over guys' houses like that for the most part. I mean, like, I'm not really trying to make new friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be like, hey, Billy, you want to hang out? You want to play the PlayStation over my house? I'm not really trying to do that. When I was when I was like a teenager, yeah, but that's not the way it is anymore. I think that as I get older, I'm looking to start a family and stuff like that. So I think my kids would appreciate having that experience of different people. I would not raise my kids in an all black neighborhood. Absolutely not. That's because I've been there, done that. It limits you because all you're able to see is like a bubble. You're not able to really see what the world really offers. Like,
that's true.
When I moved from the neighborhood I was in, remember I told you about that. It turned into a ghetto. It was all black before, but then we had the black folks that came from the ghetto. It became like a big trap house. So we moved from there and we moved to a mixed neighborhood. It was like pretty much 30, black, white, Hispanic. So that was a great experience. I was able to go over to Puerto Rican girls' house and hang out with them. And then my white friends, the Irish people, the people from, the Polish people, and then, the black people. It was a good experience. I enjoyed that. And I think me being, in high school, it was better for me to experience that rather than being in the black neighborhood, being in their bubble.
Well,
here's what go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick. Oh, and you got to call with you anyway. I learned a long time ago from a white guy, of course, but I learned a long time ago how to really play the game. And when we built our house, in the neighborhood, what we decided on doing is I decided to make the house the hangout house. Make the house kid friendly, where what we did was we had annual Halloween parties, annual pool parties. We had a game truck come in, birthday parties. We did a lot of stuff here. So when people came over, they got an opportunity to meet. It was more like, for the kids, of course, but the adults, when they want to, how people, rich people are, they want to see your house. They see what you have in your house. I mean, that's what they do. They kind of like to snoop and everything. But like I say, we had our game room, our pool, and all that other stuff for the kids. So it gave us an opportunity to meet the families, talk to them, and all that other stuff. So that was the easy way to kind of make a smooth transition and stuff like that, where we were that family, we're not trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sometimes you got to do that to show people that we're not like them. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. When I see interracial neighborhoods, and once you open Pandora's box for Negroes to move in, that's where I kind of jump off the ship, man. For what I experienced, the most interracial neighborhoods in Sacramento, let's say Natomas, let's say certain parts of Rancho Cordova that were really nice. Once Negroes started moving in at a higher percentage, you get a 5% to 6% increase in niggas moving in your neighborhood, you can kiss it goodbye for the most part.
The tipping point.
Once blacks start moving in, you open up all kind of Pandora's fuckery. And one thing that I'm not gonna do no more. Either I'm gonna live, especially in like Sacramento, unless I lived in a neighborhood where you're talking about you living amongst elite blacks, where almost everybody's African American, Episcopal, or something like that. I'm not living in no working class level of blacks, something like that have good jobs. I'm not doing that shit no more. Because soon as niggas come into neighborhood, Pandora's box, here comes the fuckery. I know if I live in Poland, I'm not gonna see no niggas. I know that for a fact.
And you know what? And here's what I'm hearing. It's class, but really it's the patriarchy. Because I'm hearing what you're saying, and I've lived from Oklahoma to New York. Brother, I get it. But when you see what I've seen and see what's possible, when you get the neighborhoods right, if there was a certain income level, and then if you could make the neighborhood to us, like you need to have this kind of income, this kind of background, and then be a married nuclear family, you'd see a different world about people. At least I did.
Okay.
So
you
I know you can't do that shit.
We'll get to the call, and then we got to start answering. We already started. And shout out to Darren Original.
Well, how about this? I'll take this last call, and I'll just shut the queue down because it's only 30-something minutes anyway. So
okay, yeah, and then we'll start talking about the topics that people are actually super chatting. We
all right, last call.
Last call.
All right, last call. 702. What's your question or comment, sir?
Hey, it's not really a question. What's up, Steve? You already know who this is. O'Shea, what's up? Kevin Samuels is full circle. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, fool. We hear you, fam. We hear you, fam.
Cool. Hey, I like what you said, Kevin. This is toward Kevin. What's up, O'Shea? This is toward Kevin Samuels. I have nothing against what you said. I like that as far as like being diverse when it comes to like trying out different people's foods. But the only thing about that is that I agree 100%. I like that. But my thing is this, Kevin. They got to have, the balls enough, and I'm going to say the balls enough to knock on my door at my home without being afraid and saying, hey, let me try some of your foods. And the reason why I say this, I'm going to give you an example. Hold on. Let me give you an example. Like in Vegas, they full of buffets, not just the lights in the hotels. They got the buffets. The one thing in the Stay Hotel, they got American food, Italian food. People of all races come in, and visit. They check out the food. They like the food. I don't see no type of African American food or nothing like that. With that being said, come to my home. Come and try out my food. I don't have a problem coming and knocking on your door, trying your mixed food and your type of food, but don't be afraid to knock on my door. And that's the thing that I have an issue with, is that we always have to come over to them and knock on their door and come to not bow down, but to say, hey, let me try this. Ooh, that's nice. But look at don't be afraid.
Hold on.
They're not gonna want to eat chitlins and shit.
What's that?
Hold on, full circle. Hold on.
What you say?
They ain't gonna want to eat chitlins and pig feet and shit like that, dog.
No. But that's where you wrong, Steve, because not all of us do that. I don't even like chicken feet. Not cutting you up. I don't like that.
It's cool.
But don't be afraid.
I'm just fucking with you, dog. I'm just fucking with you, fam.
I know you are, bro. I know you are.
I love you,
but
man.
I had to throw that at Kevin because Kevin is so broad and diverse. He's like, hey, come on, and let's go try something. And I'm with you, Kevin. I'm not against you, but I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of ones out there, mixed and white, that's like, I don't know, honey. Baby, are you sure? It's like, are you serious? But I'm opening up myself to come to you and try something new.
They like
we usually
chicken,
do.
not
Blacks, we do it all the time, but they never want to reach out and come and say, hey, let's spread the love. Don't be afraid of me.
They like pumpkin pie, not sweet potato pie.
I'm gonna tell you.
Look at you. I know you mess with me, but no, that's good. I like that. I like that type of food. You know what I'm saying? But I'm real talk. I love this. I love what you're saying, Kevin. I like that, but I had to jump in on that. I was like, wait a minute, because we usually buck dancing and we gotta almost submit and beg and ask, and we good for trying out new things, all types of things. But when it comes to us, it's like, don't be afraid. I got something in the kitchen for you too.
Okay, I got answer. Hold on.
I want Kevin to cut you out because we got to shut the lines down. We got one more call, but
I wish he would. Yeah, it's all good. I wish he would. No, he all good. He good people. But go ahead, bro.
All right.
It's all good.
All right. So O'Shea, I'm sorry, we got one more call and I'll shut it down.
And we want to get to the topic. Thank you, Full Circle, for calling in, man.
One more, and this is it. I'm shutting it down. This is the last one. 702. What do you want to say real quick to O'Shea? This is the last call. What you got?
It's John Paul.
Yo, I just want to say that I agree with O'Shea. If you bring in, it don't take for one brother to move into your neighborhood and your neighborhood going to shit. So all white people is good with me because I don't necessarily have to talk to my neighbors. I mean, I'm not a mean person, but just leave me alone. I can just do my thing. You do your thing. One brother You turn your whole shit upside down. Word
Oh
up.
my god.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, go ahead, O'Shea. The lines are clear, sir.
Hold
You're
on.
good to go, sir.
Let me make a response to that.
Okay.
Maybe I've lived around special white folks, but Bobo's chicken is this hood chicken. They fry it, they smoke it, they fry it, then they drizzle it in honey.
Okay.
It's on the hood. It's on Martin Luther King and 23rd. It opens at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know who
Wow.
you see over there? White folks. Deep. I rolled up in the neighborhood to where I normally would be afraid to go to, but it's nothing but Becky and Holly and Tommy from Edmond and all these suburbs, and they know the menu. These motherfuckers coming outside of town. They eat at the family affair. They tell you how to order this shit. When I was living in that neighborhood I was telling you about, I didn't go to their house. They came and knocked on my door. Hey, how you doing? They wanted to eat what we got. So I get it, but I just wonder how many of us really maybe I've just been lucky. I put it out there, but I've experienced a broad array. But then I've also had negative experiences too. I haven't lived a charmed life. Don't get it twisted. But I get what he was saying. We all got to try each other's stuff.
Okay. Let me do this. I want to get to. We have 225 people watching. Wake the hell up! I haven't forgot about you. Just because it's kind of jumbled in here. We got 4 people already, and in the call, so I will bring you on at a certain point. Let's get the likes up here. On the video, I really appreciate you guys. There, I was joking with Marco. He's like, "You look sleepy." I was like, "Wake me up with a super chat, motherfucker." But no, seriously, if you guys go ahead and hit the like button on the video, we really appreciate you guys tonight. I know it's Friday. Some of you niggas ain't getting no hoes, so you still here listening to us. We understand. It's tough. It's rough. That's why Steve's a dating coach. But listen, for those people who want to donate and you have an Android phone. What you could do is hit the super chat button there. There's a $. If you've never donated to this particular podcast, all proceeds go to the negromanosphere.com. If some of you are skeptical about donating, then drop your email. We'll send you our free ebook, How to Stop 7 to 24 Hours. You'll see that we are the real deal over here. We have a website that's particularly for Black men. And so it uploads every day. We have an online magazine. In fact, by the end of the year, we're going to be introducing models. I'm just getting ready to sign a deal with a photographer. So you're going to see more models on the channel. You're going to see more interviews, and Steve cussing more of these chicks out and getting block. Oh shit, Shelly Sterling. Okay, Shelly, stop the show. You always donate $50. Okay, guys, you know the Black women are always donating in the chat. Like we gotta. Can't be getting beat by the women, man. Shout out to Shelly. She always donates on almost every show. So
shout out to Shelly.
New people got to donate too. New brothers, man. You know. So let me read a few things. Shelly, I'm speechless. I got to really take that in real quick. But let me do this. Darren Brown said, the Negro Manosphere is doing the right thing. Honestly, Black people need to create a healthy middle-class community in the Bay Area. I'm from Sacramento. I went to UC Berkeley also. It's multiracial, but Asians have a strong hope. Correct. Especially Filipinos are very big in like the San Francisco, Daly City area. Asians live amongst each other and support the businesses. Because of this, the Bay Area is largely controlled by Asian, and Asians are respected. Let's take the conversation for a spin real quick. You guys.
Okay.
What about Blacks in Asians or Hispanic areas? Okay, we talked about Blacks living in white neighborhoods or whites living in Black neighborhoods. It could be a different situation. But a place like Compton, which is now was Black dominated, now Mexican dominated. Now the Mexicans have been using certain aspects of violence against Blacks in that area all across LA. Black people who live in white neighborhoods don't really get beat. Let's be fair. We got to be fair to white people.
Yes.
Right? Typically, Blacks who live amongst whites get treated very well. I would have to say this.
Okay.
In comparison to whites. Well, depending. I think white people grow up on Black, they get teased a little bit, but then they get accepted. It's all good.
Right.
But when Blacks grow up in white neighborhoods, they may have a little issues here and there, but typically no problems. Black people who live in other dominated areas, Asian areas or Mexican areas, do get treated a lot worse. Let's talk about that. We'll start with ABL.
Okay.
Do you think that Blacks get treated worse in Mexican neighborhoods or Latino neighborhoods than they do in white neighborhoods, in your opinion?
Well, what happens is there's no expectation of Hispanics or Asians to be nice to Blacks. Well, whites, there is, because if you're a white person and you even get accused of mistreating somebody that's black, you're automatically labeled as a racist. You're labeled as some kind of KKK.
That's a fucking great point. Can you give him a sound effect on that, Steve? Because that was fucking awesome. You can't. Where's Steve?
No, I can't. I can't, sir. I took it down. I shut it down.
That's a great fucking point. Say it again.
All right. Now, Asians and Hispanics don't have the expectation to be nice towards blacks.
Okay.
But whites do. If whites even get accused of mistreating somebody that's black, they get instantly labeled as a racist. Right away. The KKK, the white supremacists.
That's an excellent point, dude.
So when you got, the air quotes dreamers coming into Compton, California and killing off black people, who cares? But if it was a white person that does it, all of a sudden you got to have MSNBC, CBS, Fox News, everybody come down there and talk about it. But beyond that, it ain't really no big deal. That's part of the reason why I think Trump was so popular, because he had Jamil Shaw's father. Jamil Shaw, his son had got murdered by an illegal immigrant from Mexico, a so-called dreamer who had been deported before. See, stuff like that happens all the time, but don't nobody want to talk about that. And that was in LA. So that happens, but nobody really cares. If it was the other way around, like white people, they get all kind of scrutiny on them, but anybody else, any other minority group does not. And that includes blacks.
Wow. ABL for the fucking win. Let's go to Steve, man. Steve, I know you're rich and everything, player, but do you feel that, in your opinion, if you lived in like an all Mexican neighborhood with Jorge and all of them, right? The dudes, the really proud Mexican communities, very nationalistic communities, and you had a family that was black. Do you feel that your family would be treated a lot differently than you would in a white neighborhood?
Well, now is this an upper middle class Hispanic or lower middle class?
Let's just you
like
take
Compton, for example.
Oh, you we wouldn't survive. Oh no, it would no. It'd be pure racism. It'd be all about Hispanic. We would be us outsiders. What are you doing in this neighborhood type thing? They wouldn't want us there.
Okay,
especially like one like a Compton. Yeah, fuck no. I wouldn't move there anyway. But no, fuck that.
Well, let's go to Kevin. And Kevin, has there been? I know Mexicans the Hispanic communities are moving in many places. Are they moving into Oklahoma City?
Yeah, dude. When I left after college, came back 20 years later, and I almost didn't recognize the place. I mean, literally, the first real Mexicans I saw was in Texas, in Dallas and Houston. And now you come back and there's an entire side of town. The payphones, if you remember payphones, they switched to having Spanish on it, Spanish billboards. I'm like, I was tripping. I was like, what the hell happened? But, let me go into this part about the Asians. Because I spent a lot of my life around the Asian culture, all this 30 plus years of martial arts. And the Asian culture, the Chinese and the Japanese, the Japanese and Koreans are prejudiced against the Chinese, Vietnamese, and the rest of them. They think the worst of these folks in general, based on not because of their race, because of cultural clashes. But in all Asian cultures, the concept of face, if you come in to an Asian culture and you're willing to pick up chopsticks, you're willing to say kamsahamnida or try to learn what they're doing, they respect you because, we think in terms of minutes. Their culture thinks in terms of decades.
Oh, yeah. Long game.
Long game. So we playing over here. So if you come in, think about all the kung fu movies you saw where it was closed door secret martial arts and they didn't want to be taught to the outsiders and everything, such and so forth. That shit is real. I went to Chinatown in San Francisco, and I went to the real Chinatown where they eat chicken feet and the fish with the eye still on it, and I eat the authentic stuff. And I was going with my Korean girlfriend, and they used to Chinese American food, which is called guilo for foreigners, that chicken fried rice or shrimp fried rice. And we're sitting there, and I'm start ordering stuff. And they're looking at me like, she's like, no, I'm foreign. He knows what he's doing. But then people, here's the thing. They love your ass once you get down. There's a black man in Japan right now who's basically your equivalent, O'Shea. He's just a black guy in Japan. But he's a fucking national hero because he's going over and he's touching base with this culture. And they're like, wow. And not one of those a nigga on a leash kind of things. He's a real celebrity.
Yeah, I've seen him. Like, he speaks the language very well. Like, if you really take time to understand them and be part of what's going on, they respect you a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So it's fucking habit. And then women is fine. Woo.
Let me give a few shout outs. My man Big Eastwood up to no good, $20 super chat. He does this shit like damn near every day, man. Eastwood is balling. Let me get hired at where you hired that player. Irvin Jones, I love my white neighbors. Used to say I wouldn't call the law. Now I got 911 on speed dial. Shout out to my man Irvin Jones. You guys are great, man. We really love you over here. I want to talk about another question. If you guys have a certain topic that you want us to spend, or according to this one, hit the super chat, and we'll talk about what Darren Brown said. He's a guy in University of Utah getting a master's. Shout out to him. Let's talk about this. David Willis asked a question, and we'll start with Steve, because Steve has the solution to everything in the world today.
Yes. What's up?
How does a black neighborhood prevent gentrification? He got that deer in the headlight. Look, man, like
how does a black neighborhood prevent it? They can't. They can't. It now? Wait. Are we talking? Hold on. Are we talking about now again? Are we talking about a nice middle upper class, or are we talking about like Compton?
Well, I mean, most whites don't want to gentrify middle class neighborhoods. Like, they want, when whites gentrify a neighborhood, at least what I think, I could be wrong, ABL, but typically they're looking for kind of a ghetto area that has access to a lot of buses, trains, stuff like that, where a lot of the jobs are at, and that are close, like in DC, for example.
Yeah, basically, like, because a lot of them, like DC is a prime example. A lot of them might live out, way out Alexandria, like across the Potomac, stuff like that. They want to live right in DC. So then they go to Southeast, Northeast, or whatever, maybe even PG, and then they see an area that's kind of blighted, but that has close access to where they work, and then they want to come in there and fix it up. That's what we should be doing as black folks, going into those areas, fixing it up. But white folks typically do that. A lot of white gay couples, they go in there and do that. That's why you see all this stuff that's catering to gay people and gentrified areas.
Yeah, we have a street in Oklahoma City called 23rd. It's the most segregated street in the country. Drive from east to west, and it goes black, Hispanic, Asian, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And really what you're looking at is the black side of town today, in most countries, everywhere in America, was the white side of town in the 40s and 50s.
Yes.
That's what they want back, because downtowns and all the stuff was downtown. Look where MLK is, and guarantee you 60, 70 years ago, that was when blacks started leaving.
Well, kept to go what you're saying. I'm just real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you. The thing about Caucasians now, or now, it's all about downtown. It's about having the what are those flats, and everybody wants to be downtown. And because don't judge me, I watch a lot of do-it-yourself network shows and stuff. And one of the things that a lot of white people always say is that they want to be close to the city, because again, that's where all the action is. That's where all the excitement, the parties, and you are, and to them, you're somebody if you're in the city, rather than they're trying to leave the suburbs to go back into the city, because everything's happening in city. But I'm sorry, Kevin.
I'll give you a perfect example. When I was a boy in 1969, I grew up in the 2nd Street projects.
Okay.
Government aid, the shit was bad. The most affluent area in the city right now, homes starting at $1 million plus. And when I moved back, I juxtaposed it with my childhood pictures, and it was some shit that would just make you just freak out to see what a neighborhood is. That's where the Thunder players are, and all the oil and gas executives. Then there's a house on 20th Street where we used to rent. Our rent was $150. Now, and the house was worth 18,000, 20,000. Now you can't get in that neighborhood for under $500,000.
Wow.
But see,
My home.
that's a good example right there. That the person was asking the question, how do we prevent gentrification? How about black folks gentrify it? How about that?
That's it. That would involve us being forward thinking, planning, and getting involved in steady state local politics.
That's
You
right.
see how Steve was looking when I asked him that? He was like, you can never really stump Steve. He was like, man, these niggas can't do that shit.
Yo, you better off ask me how pig feet taste and shit. I don't know. Shit, man.
Let me tell you like this, man. Let me give you an example. I'll share this. I don't mind sharing this, man. I had a class I actually didn't pass for first time that ever happened to me, right? I failed the first final by 0.5 points called pathomorphology. And then I thought that I had passed it because it was a written portion, and then there's a different pathological slides that you need to look for. Anybody know what pathology is or pathomorphology is? The morphology of cells after some kind of disease happens in the disease state. So the first time I ever failed a class ever in medical school, which I got to take this shit back next semester, and we had an oral examination because you didn't pass the first written exam. And
you had to do orals
for what they call in Europe, they consider oral. So in the oral examination, which is the hardest thing you ever want to do, you don't know what they're going to ask you. You actually have to go up to a table and pull out a piece of paper, pull a strip of questions. It could be 350 questions. You only can use 5. When I got that shit, and the first round of questions went cool, and she asked me something else, I was looking just like Steve, like a deer in the fucking headlights. That bitch failed me right there on the spot, man. She was like, okay, you know what? You can leave. You can go.
Yep. Orals are different.
I was like, man, I'll just take this bitch next semester with my other rotations. Fuck you, you bitch. Okay. But that's exactly what happened, man. That's how I was looking. I was looking fucked up. All right. Let's go to Wake the Hell Up, man. I'm gonna ask him the questions and ask him. Welcome to the show. You there?
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Do you think that black people can prevent gentrification?
No.
Why? Why not?
Because they don't put their money where their mouth is. That's why.
Ding 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 ding.
Can you go into detail about that, please?
Why they be spending money on weed, liquor, and getting high and doing stupid stuff, other cultures is moving up forward. They're already 20 years ahead. We 20 years behind, most of us. America.
Yep. That's it.
Damn, he came in. He just gave his question this point, and they'd be hitting heavyweights with like 3 words.
Well,
I wish some of you fucking blog talk callers are like that. You motherfuckers call in and talk for 45 hours and shit. I hate you.
Check. This is why a lot of, and I keep hearing the same thing, but it comes back to the same. We can't do this because it requires a certain mindset, and men possess this better than women. You take away the men, especially the best of the men, and this is what you get. So no, we can't stop it until they start liking the quote unquote Lawrences or the educated lames or whatever, the fucking regular people. Like AB Dale and I was talking about last night. We can stop it. We just gotta, the we's like the people on the panel have to end up going back into the community. And that's what the problem is.
I ain't going
most
back.
of it don't want, there you go.
Fuck
okay,
that.
let's talk about that real quick, all right?
I ain't going back.
Shout out to my man Cerulean Gray. The reasons why whites want to gentrify the inner cities is because they are the political hubs of their respective states.
Yeah.
Not due to the I mean, I can't say, okay, he's saying that it's not due to the nightlife. Cerulean Gray, I think what you're missing here is when whites want to gentrify neighborhoods, the average white person is not the political hub of their respective state. Okay, I don't really think that when a white person decides they want to move into DC, that's where the jobs are at, downtown. People get tired of that long ass commute. Now, you may have a point, but the nightlife is in downtown DC. You have more access to the trains. I used to live in DC, so I know that for a fact. when whites are coming into Detroit, that's where the jobs are. That's where the opportunity is. Not necessarily in the suburbs. That's where the money is made. So you do have a kind of a decent point there. But I think what Steve is saying there is definitely true. White people are looking more actually get tired of that commute. You're going to save gas money, right? Especially if you have a subway system that's there, or if you have a bus system that's there. You don't have to drive in traffic. DC traffic fucking sucks, man. I don't know if you know that, but
yeah.
it's
Think about Steve.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Steve, think about Houston before the Riverwalk opened up. Downtown
Well,
Houston
yeah,
was closed at 6 p.m.
Well, no, the Riverwalk is in San Antonio, but yeah, that's bit, but downtown Houston is starting to get big now because with the baseball park, it's white,
Right.
baseball, and and then they got the Toyota Center and they cleaning up, getting rid of the bums and all the other shit. They clean up the area and they're selling more of the property, like I say, the flats and everything. It's all about moving in town or being on the outskirts, just on the outskirts of town. That's the hot spot.
And I've always lived.
Same thing in New York.
Right. Yeah, and I've always lived in the city. When people were talking about move out to the suburbs, like in Dallas, it was Addison, then it was Plano, then further and further and further. Next thing you know, you got an hour commute. But then when the housing bubble burst in 2008, people realized, man, this is some bullshit. Folks the move was already happening, but it just hit overdrive.
Right. Now, I definitely agree. Let me do this real quick, and we're gonna talk about cleaning up black communities, man. Because Steve said he ain't going back. Fuck that. We gotta have that conversation, man.
Fuck.
We gotta have that conversation. So, some people, Michael Walker donated $2 super chat. I didn't see that. Digity Daz 11. I've never seen you in the super chat, man. I appreciate you. $10. Cerulean great. Thank you. He's participates in a lot of especially in the BGS hangout sector and other sectors. I see him. Thank you, Cerulean Gray. He's a good caller and a good commenter. Let's talk about that, ABL, because Mr. Black, if you've talked to him before on this panel, he's actually in Houston. He's been here on the show several times. He has a channel called Black Men Taking Our Community Back. Last year, he asked for black men to do a certain project in the 5th Ward where they come out and clean up the community. And then it kind of shook a big debate here in the black manosphere where I kind of actually defended his reasoning for doing it. But now I think after thinking about it, I've had a change of heart. Why don't black people want to go back into these neighborhoods and at least invest in the real estate there, although they may not want to live there? We'll start with Steve. Why you don't want to do that? Why that's not,
there's a few reasons because I know a guy that does real estate. He builds he goes into black communities and tries to buy property. Every time he buys property and tries to clean it up, or go in there and build or fix it up, you have to understand copper
Yep.
about the copper is real. It's high on the market. People go in there, rip the walls, steal the carpet, and the copper, whatever the copper thing is. A lot of bullshit going on. The reason I won't help the black community is the same reason why I have more white clients than black clients. That's my thing. Black people's egotistical mindset of you can't tell me what to do, and the fact that I would be seen as a sellout. You acting white, you trying to be white. Why you want to come down here? You don't know about black people. You too. So fuck no. Hey, y'all want to do that shit? Hey, y'all go right ahead. When your rims gone and motherfuckers robbing you like they do, they play by a different set of rules in those neighborhoods. And when you coming in with your nice car and you looking good, again, even if you dress down, they can smell that you're not like us by, hey, look, when you open your mouth and speak the King's English, that's going to be the problem right there. That's going to be the first problem, the King's English, because you're not sounding like them. So they automatically deem you as a sellout, and they're not going to listen to no sellout. We don't want no sellouts down here. Anybody down there, we ain't got no guns and, Pookie and Ray and all that bullshit. Y'all can have that shit, man.
Let me shout out to another brother that just donated, man, the legendary Tony Maceo from the Mac City Limits podcast, excellent writer. He, we've been spamming his name, man. He's been gaining popularity over here, him in Mac City. So thank you for the super chat, brother. $2. I really appreciate you. Love your work, love your writing. Let's go to ABL, because you said that blacks should be doing this, but we don't. Now, what about Steve's reasoning for why he doesn't want to do that? Does that make sense?
It is a valid point, because when you move into these areas, you kind of like instantly become a target. The white folks, not so much. It's almost like when you're a black police officer in a black area versus a white police officer in a black area. When you're a white police officer, you tend to get more respect from the black people that's in the area. When you're a black officer, you get less respect because they feel like you're supposed to be on their side. Oh, don't say nothing, because that ain't nothing. Don't worry about that. That's how they feel. So it's a respect factor that comes in there. But see, at the same time, it takes two to really make that whole thing happen. When you're talking about the black folks that have the money and the ability to make a black neighborhood that's poor better, and the black folks that currently live there. So if you're a black person that's crying about being gentrified, then at the same time, you can't be looking at black folks that have money and are willing to come in and improve your neighborhood as somehow a target for you to rob or to abuse. So at the end of the day, you're talking about gentrification. Whose fault is it really? And beyond that, it doesn't make any sense, because we cry about white folks too much. We'll say, okay, when white folks are leaving, that's white flight. When the white folks come back, it's gentrification. So which one do you want? Do you want them to stay, or do you want them to leave? And then when they come back, they bring jobs and they bring opportunity, but are we prepared for it?
Say that one more time.
When the white folks come back, they have jobs and opportunity, but are we prepared for it? Are we ready to take the jobs they have? Are we ready to take the opportunity they have? They bring in businesses. The crazy thing I ever saw was you had black folks somewhere on the West Coast. It was not California. It might have been Oregon or Washington State. They were crying about Trader Joe's coming in. It's like, okay, a lot of y'all out here, with a sign talking about no gentrification. You ain't got no jobs. So how about you go to Trader Joe's and try to work there? How about that? Doesn't that make sense to try and take advantage of opportunities that come into your neighborhood rather than shunning them away? We cannot continue to live in these areas like in the low level of existence, no skills, relying upon the government, having barbershop beauty salons. We got to be able to expand our horizons. That's why I was advocating earlier for us to live in the more mixed area, because when you live in the more mixed area, you're able to see that kind of stuff from an early age. If you live in the all black area, all you're going to see is Pookie and Ray Ray and them, barbershop beauty salon, dope man, and that's pretty much it. You're not going to see a wider range of opportunity for business.
So very good stuff, man. I agree.
I don't think I can top that one. I ain't trying to top it, because go ahead.
Let me see. You've heard this saying, and both of them have perfect points, which leads directly to mine. Okay. You heard those saying you got to be playing chess while they're playing checkers. Well, on this level, you got to be playing 3D chess. I don't know if you remember the story where I said when I would go to the white side of town, I work with a blonde woman, and I would look like, even though I'm her boss, I would make it look like it's her appointment, so they would sign the contract. But when I went on to the black side of town, I would do the presentation. You would think that I should handle the contract, but I still gave it to the white girl, because when you're trying to take somebody's money, social security number, even though I was the one leading the show and the manager, actually director, they trusted her more. I had to accept that. So if we need to go into this neighborhood, we have to do both of the things. We have to go back, but we can't be the face of it. Go back, do what you need to do. Don't be the face of it. Make it a holding company or such and so forth. And you're planning, because someone is going to get the property. At the end of the day, someone's going to get in. They still steal copper from the black guy just like they do the white guy. So be the holding company and just have a hella insurance policy on it. Make sure you're covered on all of veins, so you can go in and do everything you need to do, and at the end of the day, pull the curtain and be like, surprise, niggas, we did this. Oops, by the time you get in there, they can't do nothing. And they either got to come work at the Trader Joe's that's franchised by me, and then go across the street to Leroy's Hair Shack. I mean, then it's going to be like, what's the choice? That's the only way you could convince folks like Steve, smart folks, and people who don't really want to do nothing to risk that we got to get the reward.
Preach.
Here's what I've noticed too, and we got 234 people watching, and not enough people liking the videos. You guys know how we all over here about that. Like the videos, people. I've seen black homeowners in like the ghettos fix up homes, refuse to rent to blacks, and rent to Asians or Mexicans. This is really what a lot of people won't talk about. That this is so a lot of black homeowners say this: if the white folks are not going to gentrify you, black people are basically fix shit up, and the blacks who own homes in black neighborhoods, they're not gonna rent it to you niggas. Oh, let's say it again. They already know that you're gonna fuck it up. Your kids gonna be writing on the goddamn wall. And if they have to give the Section 8 vouchers, and obviously a lot of homeowners, we'll talk about that too. A lot of homeowners are going away from Section 8 vouchers in many places, especially in the West Coast. What they're going to do is, if they're going to give you a Section 8 voucher, they're going to look to give it to a person that has a father and a mother in the home, and it's Asian or Mexican. So you have a lot of black homeowners refusing to even rent it to blacks. And I really can't blame them, man, because when a black person owns a house and rents to another black person, that black person feels that they can get away with a lot more shit when it's a black owner. For example, if you have a white owner, you know that the white owner is going to evict your ass, but if you're a black owner and you have to evict somebody black, you're going to have a lot. I would feel you're going to have a lot more trouble. You don't have niggas trying to animosity. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I saw that firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
They will rent to you. They will avoid the Section 8, take less money to rent it to a nuclear family. Me and my ex-girlfriend had this situation. Then I knew a guy who's a black pastor. He had a black couple in there. They didn't pay him for 10 months straight. Now, mind you, they bought new cars while they were in their house. They fixed the whole house up. They was always going out. And he didn't want to evict them. They had that conversation. There were all kind of agreements broken. And eventually he ended up having to evict them. I was like, 10 months? Man, they did that in 6 weeks in most places.
Yeah, you got to get the police involved. Niggas don't want to leave. It's a hassle, man, dealing with a lot of black people. So, I just wanted to say that. But, Steve, did you have anything you want to wake the hell up. Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I want to add on to it. Basically, when you try to rent to these people, your stock drops tremendously. You're going to lose a lot in assets real fast with them. Make a problem. The parties mess up. Somebody's shooting, smoking, doing all types of messed up stuff. It's not worth it, man, dealing with them, man. It's not worth it. Especially if they're not educated and their mind is not right. Mind is not right at all.
Hold on, them motherfuckers is crazy. Steve, look, let's kind of go with this. And like I said, we got 16 more likes to hit 200. This is what I want to talk about now. I won't stay on too long, but we gotta discuss this whole avenue about can blacks okay, here's the problem. We have so many blacks who are integrated with talent, right? Like I believe you live in a mixed neighborhood. ABL, I don't know, do you live in a integrated neighborhood?
80% black.
Oh, right now. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, 80% black. Is it a rough neighborhood or?
Nah, it's cool.
Yeah, because you got fast internet, man. So I know when you live in the hood, man. When your internet be slow, niggas and stealing your shit. But
right.
So is it possible that blacks could come out of the integrated neighborhoods and like my man Ron said a little earlier? Thank you for the super chat, Ron L. But we had another brother. That's Darren Brown. The Filipinos in the Bay Area have a really, really, really tight-knit community in Daly City. They have a really great community in San Francisco. They run a lot of business. In fact, even in Sacramento, man, the Filipino, my best friend is Filipino, but he act black. But he's, they have a strong support.
Hey, that food good, ain't it, man?
Yeah, and the food is good, and the chicks is fine as hell, too.
And then women are fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They got a lot of money in the Filipinos got a lot of money in the Bay Area, man. Ton of money. Is it possible that blacks with the $1.4 trillion spending power, because we do have money, you guys can even see, even in my super chats here, for a black show, this podcast pulls in a pretty good amount of donation support from mostly black people, right? So we have the money. The money is not the problem. Can blacks converge with the same thinking of me, ABL, Kevin, Steve? Is it possible we can create our own community and make rules and keep other blacks out who ain't shit? Could we do that?
Well, the problem that you're gonna have is there's too few of us and too many of them.
Say it again.
It's too few of us and too many of them. So
one more time.
It's too few of us and too many of them. We will not survive. I mean, our community would die because
zombie apocalypse and shit.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it'd be with the walking black, not the Walking Dead, but the Walking Black. It's just like that show. You got a few humans. Yeah, you got a few humans running around and a bunch of zombies. So, with this situation, shut your ass up, man. I'm being honest. I'm saying with this situation, it wouldn't work for us because we would have to bring other people in to thrive and be successful. Because as soon as you bring in that black element again, can I get the discount? Come on, help a brother out, man. Oh man, y'all prices are way too high, man. Why y'all selling it this high? I don't want to, and again, I'm not trying to open up a weave store or anything like that in a nice neighborhood and shit, because, and not to say other people don't wear weave, but a weave store, liquor store, a gun store, I'm not doing that shit. So
we can do it.
I mean, whites have liquor stores in your neighborhood, right? Don't they have?
Yeah, but you always notice. When's the last time you seen a white liquor store get robbed? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Stop that shit, okay?
Hold on.
Yeah,
we could do it. We would just have to codify some very un-United States like laws, put in martial law, strip civil liberties, and then you'd have to let us do it and then incent us. The country would say, okay, man, we're gonna have y'all go just have a civil war with y'all. We're gonna fund y'all.
Yeah,
the people who want to go. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay taxes for the rest of your lifetime, and then incent us to do it. We could figure it out because we just need enough.
Yeah, we need it. Wait. We need a pawn shop there too. We need to add a pawn shop because
we don't have.
Well, no, when they steal shit, they got to bring it somewhere to sell it. So we got to have a pawn shop too, and we got to have a chicken store. We got to have a pig feed store, and we got to have some African store because everybody. African garb. That's another thing. We got to have one of those African garbs. All these fake pro-black motherfuckers who think that we're African. They're gonna want to wear the garbs. I mean, we can do it, but the problem is, I don't think they're gonna want to drive that far out because they're gonna be wasting their gas money coming that far out. We probably. I ain't shit.
Next to slave land.
I ain't shit. Right next to slave
land. Might as well call the store Chicken Shines.
He call it Chicken Shines. Wait, let me see if ABL laughing, man. Hold on. ABL, man, let me ask ABL a question, man. I know you don't curse and shit like we do, but did you visit a restaurant called Chicken Shines, man?
Hey, I don't know about that.
Hey, man, look at me in the face, man. I just want to see what you could.
And lots of broken churches. We got broken churches. Make sure we have some broken churches too.
Saint Slap a Bitch Missionary Baptist Church.
There you go.
Yeah, Reverend Rufus Watson, senior pastor.
Yep. And we gotta sell old Good Times, the Jeffersons and Sanford and Son DVDs. You'll get one in the
two. Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. And we'll have
Metro PCS store. I swear to God, hold on, stop the show.
Cricket Wireless, nigga.
Any place that sells cricket.
No, we call cockroach.
You know for a motherfucking fact, you in the goddamn ghetto. If they got a Metro PCS, or especially this is number one, Church's Chicken. Oh yeah, it's in the hood. Church's Chicken.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give a fuck what it was over there. Church's Chicken and Metro PCS.
No, not cricket. We don't want to do cricket. We want to do roach. We'll call it cockroach.
Cockroach Wireless.
Good
But that
one.
nigga
That's a
said
good
chicken shines though. That's a classic. Hey man, I gotta put that on the comic, man. Chicken shines, man.
If you're
I
not
bet you that.
pro-black, you're a dummy. Shut your ass up, God.
Oh, Family Dollar, yeah, definitely. Well, I can't say really Family Dollar,
Oh yeah, that's
but the
yeah.
99-cent store, you
99-cent store. Yeah, no, that's too much. A penny more. They can't have $1. It's gotta be 99 cents. That's too much. That's too much money. It's gotta
Hey
be
man,
99
you eating
cents.
that chicken shines, man? What is that?
It's called brand protection.
Nah, this is a veggie spring roll.
Hey,
That's that food.
How you get that in an 80% black neighborhood, man? Y'all over there?
Come on, man. I'm in a diverse area.
Yeah, he is. You know
What,
when
80% niggas? You must
Well,
got some
and like in my
dark
immediate
ones?
neighborhood is 80%, but it's mixed all around where I live.
Oh, okay.
Hey, O'Shea, right next to the weave store, we need to have a bunch of abortion clinics too. So what happened? What happened?
Y'all
Come on,
can't do
what?
Steve, man. Steve is
What?
racist,
What?
Steve is racist, dude.
We get paid, dog.
Steve
Why?
is racist, dude.
Why am I racist? Come on, I'm just saying. Abortion clinics, chicken, and weave, you can't go wrong, man.
So it's gonna be like a bucket shop movie theater too.
Oh yeah, Magic Johnson Theater. Gotta have a Magic Johnson
And
Theater.
Fridays.
Yeah. So hey,
Somebody said
serving
City
Coke
Trend.
45
Oh, not
malt
City
liquor.
Trend.
We're gonna have malt liquor there.
Make sure
too,
it's
Coke
you got
45.
F on it too.
Yeah, you gotta have the billboards. The billboards. The Coke 45 billboard. It ain't right if you ain't got the billboards though.
45, yeah.
Oh
I
man.
just
But that,
say, hey, we have Billy D. We'll get Billy D. Williams be like, I want some Coke 45. You know, we can see that shit.
oh man. I don't know. Is there anything else more we could actually talk about on this particular topic?
I think we're done.
Yeah, we're still talking about chicken shines and shit, man. That shit can't go nothing. But if you let Steve go on about creating a niggerville.
I can create this video. I can still
Okay,
create.
Steve,
I still got
let's
some
go ahead.
ideas.
I know I shouldn't do this, but you came up with something that you wanted to call Slave Land. Is that what it was
Well,
called?
no, I got Niggerville. We get Slave Land to be right next door. Let's go back to Niggerville for a second.
Okay, Steve, create your version of nigga. Let's start from the ground, and you create Niggerville if you like.
All right. Well, like I say, Niggerville, we have some broken ass street signs. Fucking dirty. You can park your car on the street. You can when you go to the grocery store, you can there'll be nothing but bananas, grape soda, watermelons.
Oh my god.
You get discounts on chicken feet, gizzards. Hold on. Y'all can't help me. Let me grab this line. I got some more to say. Hold on.
Oh my god. My god.
This dude hates black people, man.
All right, I gotta say this before I go. I gotta say it real quick. Okay, listen. And the cool thing about it is you can steal the food if you can get out the parking lot fast enough. You get to keep the shit you steal. also,
community sponsor looting.
Yeah. And every 6 months they're gonna drop a crate of Jordans in the middle of the parking lot. So y'all motherfuckers can wrap around there. For Halloween they're gonna scare y'all. They're gonna have people walking around telling y'all about education and stocks and mutual funds and 401k plans. It's gonna scare the shit of y'all. Like, oh shit, here comes the fucking stock man. Oh my god, he's scary. They be looking like Freddy Krueger with a bunch of pieces of paper saying, go ahead and read this motherfucker. So we'll have that. Nothing but Ebony Jet magazines. We'll have that right there. Man, oh no, it'll be great, guys. It'll be great, man. Fuck, man. Hey, all kind of bus systems and everything for y'all guys. Hey, look. Hey, the weave shops will be off the chain. Y'all can get y'all long fingernails and all that other stuff, and we can have it make a little gossip area and stuff, man. Man.
Yeah, exactly. For the church up in there.
But
What's up?
What about chicken shines though, man? Can you tell me about chicken shines?
Well, chicken shines. See, when you go to chicken shines, since you don't have no money and everything, you got to use your WIC card and shit. So the thing you gotta do is they don't want to give you no money, but y'all get like I guess I'd be nice, give y'all like a 20 bucket thing of chicken for like I don't know $8.99 or something like that. You'll get a Coke 45 with it, some grapes, and 3 slices of sweet potato pie because we don't eat pumpkin pie here. So y'all can have that shit. Oh man, what man? What's no money? Wait, hey, look. There won't be no pools because that's y'all motherfuckers don't know how to swim anyway. We don't want y'all to drown. So there won't be no pools around. Now they might be nice and look, they'll have a fire hydrant right in the middle where y'all can open that motherfucker up, and every once in a while y'all can spray them little motherfuckers down that's gonna rob and shit.
What about pit bulls, Steve? Are we gonna have pit bulls?
All kind of dog, pit bull fighting and all that other stuff if y'all want, man. And every once in a while, if y'all want, y'all gonna have one of those well, no, you can't have no proper people, Alfonso Roberto kind of guys. Look, nothing but rap. They're gonna have gold. Look, gold tooth. Y'all get gold tooth day. Y'all get to wear some gold teeth and everything. You get to have your pants sagging. Hey, look, matter of fact, you can have your pants all the way down to your ankles, and they will appreciate you more over there. I think it's a great thing. I think we can make a lot of money with that, dog.
Let me add something. I'm gonna add something. No houses will have a garage. They'll all have car washes instead.
Hey,
don't forget the 25-inch rims too.
Oh yeah, they get the rims too.
That's their specialty.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But I just think, man. No, I just think with the abortion clinics, I think everybody should get at least one abortion. You do one abortion, get one free, like a coupon. I think they should have like newspapers with the coupons in there. For every abortion you have, you get one free and everything. So,
wow.
And see, here's the thing, though. As bad as this sounds, right? I think what even though this is make believe, I think what he's saying is this is where we're going. This is where we on our way to. You know what I'm saying? Like with our liberal policies and shit like that, man. What he's talking about, if we not almost already there, this is where we're going.
That's the sad part, because everything he described
is where we're going.
Oh, you can find it's where we're going, and it's already in some places. I mean, of course, all truth is said in jest, but the funny thing is, every one of us is sitting back like, damn, I can kind of imagine some of this shit.
Hey, and one more thing I want to say before I go. We're not going to have Father's Day because half of you ain't going to have daddy. So instead of Father's Day, we'll call it Where My Daddy Day At. You know what I mean? So yeah, no. Well, no, for women, they get to have Baby Mama Day. Now understand this, black ladies. Mother's Day is for mothers with kids. See, people don't understand. There are kids that are born out of love and kids that are born out of fucks. And those most are bastards. But anyway, so Mother's Day is going to be on Sunday for real mothers. But Baby Mama Day is going to be Monday because you don't deserve that day. So you have Baby Mama Day on Monday, and then you got Where's My Daddy At instead of Father's Day. It'll work out perfect, man.
I mean, I know this is all make believe, man, but this is where we're at. I mean, people can say, "Oh, that sounds racist." That's where we're at, So if you guys get offended by that, by what he just said, you should have been offended by what you've been seeing in the black communities the last 10, 20 years.
Very much so.
Get mad at him because that's where we're at. Right. We are there now. We are there right now, y'all. So we gotta fix this shit, or y'all gotta get the fuck about these neighborhoods.
It ain't gonna be fixed, though. Don't try. I'm sorry, I hate to bear bad news. Shit ain't gonna be fixed. We need to hit a reset. We need a meteor to like wipe us out like the dinosaurs before we need a reset. We done. That's why just keep in your own pockets and keep them out. Just tell them, look, have a book, stocks, bonds right in front of the gate, and them motherfuckers gonna run. They ain't gonna go in that motherfucking area.
That was like an episode of the Boondocks, man.
Yeah.
Like when they were doing the nigga exorcism. These are the things that scare a nigga. A job application.
Yep, a job application.
Yep. Oh, damn. And people hated the Boondocks because it was so spot on. You're like, damn, you shouldn't be saying that in public. No, we shouldn't be living like this.
It's where we're at, man. And so you could be offended by what he said. Anthony Brown Logan ain't gonna say nothing, but I know he like, damn, that shit.
No, Anthony Brown Logan's doing this.
He's like, man, I
would say last night when I was on ABL show last night, we were having a very great thought-provoking discussion. And the first call we took was a man making all kind of criticisms of ABL. And when I asked him one question, what do you see that's good or positive about ABL or what he's doing? And he wanted to call, he couldn't find one thing, and he wanted to call him coon so bad. He couldn't. But all the folks he was defending are the Pookies and the Ray Rays and the drug dealers and everything else. But
Was he a black
I asked him
dude?
a question. Yeah, and I said,
Yeah.
I said, are you? He said, I said, are you more upset with ABL? Are you more upset with ABL because he said it, or that the shit's happening? And he's really just upset that we say it. That's all it really is. They just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, people don't like to hear what Steve is talking about, man. That's where we're at. That's where the black community is at, man. Chicken shines, buy one get one free abortions. The reason why Steve is saying it because we have 40, 50 million abortions in the last 40 years.
Yeah, the highest abortion. Yeah, we
highest abortions. I think more abortions than births.
That's right.
I mean, it's so you can't get mad at somebody. That's where you're at. Black people need to stop being so damn offended and look at the fucking truth.
Well, BGS said something on a response. I don't want to get into that whole long thing, but there's a theory going around that black women, I know this is gonna cause some shit, but ultimately black women hate their men. I mean, for things that happened to them during slavery, this, like that. I mean, you just look at how where all these, and it's a deep rabbit hole, but ultimately, all this stuff happens because we don't have the neighborhoods, because the men are gone. We've been run away or not there. We have no outreach for men. We like the Pookies and the Ray Rays, and this keeps the matriarchy and all this fuckery going. But the end game is this. This is the end game. It's fucking, Palestine or some shit. I'm sorry, but damn.
That's crazy. Right, man. Okay, so listen, man. I know Steve got to go. I think we've already killed whatever we could say on this topic. Let me make sure I unmonetize this video because
private.
After we had the Niggaville. Let me go ahead and just take that. Let me go ahead and edit this. Take that.
You better put that on Patreon.
Off. Yeah, let me go ahead and take that off. So don't worry, Google. We won't fuck your money up no more.
Oh, Google, trust me, Google knows it already. They got the bot waiting, it's ready. As soon
don't
as you
even
click,
worry about
it. They can hear you when you're talking, so don't even.
Don't worry about it. We won't put no ads on the video. Don't even worry about it, player. But we just want to shout out everybody that came on to this podcast. Tomorrow, we're gonna talk about let's talk about this young jock thing in the dress. Now I know it's a little bit old, right?
Ugh.
But I think we need to talk about have we talked about the emasculation of black men on the brother pill yet?
Nope.
We haven't. Let's look at let me do this real quick. I will look at some of that because we have this is podcast number 28. ABL, how do you think what do you feel about the brother pill podcast? How do you think it's been doing since it started?
It's been going good. So you guys have a lot of good topics that you stick on. One thing I will say is the topics that are good are good. Sometimes topics it ain't really my cup of tea, but then again, I think the topics would appeal to other people. So I think you got a wide range of topics that appeal to a lot of different people.
Yeah. And then you have Steve, man, who's liable to say any fucking thing at any given time.
There's one criticism I continue to hear when I'm in other rooms and on other channels that the panel is becoming very one-sided.
Okay.
And I'll just say that's one of Edward Anderson. He's always on. And that's one of his criticisms that it's one-sided, and then that the conservatism over here, or whoever is conservative. Not just you, ABL, but just anybody that it's not balanced and it's not challenged and it's almost like because it's not like what they do. That's kind of what I feel. So I just put that out there for consideration. I don't see the lack of imbalance, but maybe I'm too close to it. Might be good to offer them a chance to say what you mean, to have a balanced discussion. I don't know, but as long as there wouldn't be no 8-hour. Nothing.
Well, I mean, shout out to Edward, but the way that we run our podcast is a little different than maybe right. BGS does it. BGS kind of has like a round robin and kind of like anybody who wants to talk can talk. That's not how this podcast. Number one, you got to be at least a YouTuber or somebody that I really know before you can get on here. If you are not a proven YouTuber, you're not coming on there because you need to have good equipment. You need to have good sound quality for the most part. And you need to be able to be smart. So that's what makes the podcast go. I don't just let 10 different motherfuckers just jump on because you want to get on the goddamn hangout. That ain't how it works. You know, this is a professional sounding podcast. So I know
I'm just
that's right.
You know, the people that come on here typically have microphones, typically have, you know, equipment, typically have channels, you know. So, and if you want to call in, you can call in. Like Steve has a call in option for people, but BJS, you know, and other people who have their own hangouts and moderate it, it's for different reasons. Like BGS channel is more of a community thing where, you know, people talk more about, and they talk about things for 8 hours. You know, me, I'm more, you know, trying to control the flow, and we have things that go on that's kind of quick in and out. But I can understand him saying it is one-sided. It could be one-sided sometimes, but you can go to BGS's channel and it's one-sided, or anybody else has a one-sided conversation. So, you know, it's just what it is.
He wouldn't say it's one-sided if it was something that he agreed with. That's a problem.
And here's the thing. I said that because I wanted it to be said in the light of day, not in a backhanded, sly kind of way. I'm like, come to the channel and say that, or say what you're talking about. So I'm glad you addressed it. I agree. And you're right, ABL.
Yeah. So I just want to say, in Black YouTube, you know, you have a few people who have really good like streams. Like BGS has one like twice a week. It's a really good stream. It's very popular. ABL, I know ABL's been over there having his debates and forums and stuff. And then you have the Brother Peel, which is a nightly podcast that we have that's becoming popular. I think by the time we get to like episode 100, we'll experience a lot of rapid growth, and people look forward to it. Tomorrow we'll talk about the effeminization of Black men, and we'll talk about young jock and people wearing dresses and stuff like that. We'll talk about the political left, if this is what they want. So we'll have another show, and then probably Sunday I'm going to talk about the Bloods and the Crips. We'll talk about gang culture here. Okay. So if you guys are really, we'll talk about the, you know, the it's gonna be called Bloods and Crips. That's the name of the show. So you guys gotta be ready for that on Sunday. It's gonna be a smoking show. I was gonna do a interview with a guy called What's That Crip Like, a guy that was a part of the Grape Street Watts Crips. He had a testimony on that. So you know, it's gonna be a great show. But let me do this. Let's kind of interview some people here. Well, ABL, he talking to his girl on the phone and shit. You know, that's how niggas be looking when they be like, yeah, girl, I'm about to tear that ass up tonight. Yeah. But ABL, where can they find you at, player?
All right, yeah, thank you everybody having me. You know, it's been good. It's been a good stream as always. You can find me on my website first and foremost. That is anthonyblogan.com. It should be right there on the screen before you. You can also Google me, Anthony Brian Logan, ANTHONYBRIAN LOGAN. Everything comes up on my Facebook, Twitter, etc. You can also join my Discord server, and I'll put that link in the chat box below after I get done doing my little spiel here. And the main thing I want you to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/alog. That is youtube.com/ALOGE. And I'm out.
Okay, cool. And again, shout out to everybody, Napoli Bear Kiss, John Paul, Mia, Doug. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Everybody, Kevin Samuels, where can they find you at, Pimpin'?
Yeah, guys, thanks again for having me on the stream. And ABL already said it, man. It's a good show, good stream. Glad to always be here. You guys need to subscribe to everybody on the streams channels, because even if you don't like ABL's content, my content, any of the other content providers, it helps the manosphere in ways you can't imagine by our channels getting bigger. You can subscribe to my channel at by Kevin Samuels, and then go to my website at bykevinsamuels.com, and I'll put it down in the description also. So thanks a lot.
Cool. And my man, Wake the Hell Up, one of the moderators, he's been on here. I've been on his channel before. He doesn't talk a lot, but when he talks about something, it's on point. He's quick and accurate. He's a one-punch knockout. Where can they find you at, player?
They can find me at Wait the Hell Up 7. That's WTHEHELUP7 @gmail.com. I also do sports books, so get at me at Wait the Hell Up 7 @gmail.com if you want to get on.
Okay, cool. Sports bets or sports books?
Sportsbook and sports bets at the same time. Yes.
Oh, okay. Don't bet on the Niners. You're gonna lose your goddamn money. I tell you what. Tomorrow we will. I changed my mind. Tomorrow we're gonna do the Bloods and the Crips gang culture. How it's affected. I think it's gonna be better because the feminization of black men. I think like we talked about that maybe in some aspects, but we haven't really talked about gang culture live stuff like that. So tomorrow I'm gonna do the Bloods and the Crips. We'll talk about how these gangs started, where they're at now. And everything like that. So for those people who want to get onto the email list, drop your email. Okay, we will get you onto the email list. The show will start tomorrow around the same time. I was asleep today, so it'll start about 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:00 Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna do the Bloods and the Crips, gang culture. You don't want to miss that show. We're gonna have a lot of good information. People can call in and talk about their experience. I know we have a few people who have been in gangs, want to talk about their experience with that. We want you to call in and tell your story, how you got out of it, and stuff like that. So drop your email if you want to get into the what the fuck, the ebook list. Okay, love you guys, man. Really, I do. I really appreciate. Fuck, Mia Griffin. Who the fuck are you? Stop the show.
Oh God, come on. Let's just wrap it up.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
You lucky ABL is here.
Pork shines is something else, man.
Yeah, man. Mia Griffin, I see your ass over at Chicken Shines and shit. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.